She'll be sore. She'll be very sore. Couldn't connect. What do you mean? Try it again. I have been having issues with my TikTok today, so I'm hoping that this actually does work. Maybe not. I think Twitch is fine. I believe. But we'll just get crack-a-lackin'. Do I need water? Okay. Let me just set this up here. I should be more prepared. Okay. Let's just get into it. Let's just dive right in, I guess. I'm gonna open up Instagram, get my question box up. Okay. The first question is, other than Hogwarts Legacy, what other games do you play? I've only seen you play Hogwarts Legacy. I have been playing that for a while now. It's been like a couple months, but I'm kind of taking my time with it. Obviously, I'm enjoying it. I think before I was playing a lot of like Fortnite, Minecraft, Sims. I have played a lot of Nancy Drew in my life too. I love those kind of like puzzle storybook games. When I was a kid, I used to play like Roller Coaster Tycoon all the time. I loved that game as a kid. I was like, I am a CEO and this is my business and I have to run it. And then I make it and all the people are throwing up in my park and leaving and I'm like, no. And then I think there's like a couple other games that I've kind of played here and there, but so far, yeah, my focus has been Hogwarts Legacy. And I think Roller Coaster Tycoon is a shit. Dude, as a kid, that was just like the best thing. And also, it was a gift from my brother. And I adore my brother so much. And so obviously, like, it was just kind of sentimental for me as well. Did you get the outfit you posted saying someone's grandma was getting down in this? I didn't. My friend, like, talked me out of it. She's like, where are you going to wear that? Like, where are you going to wear it? I might go snag it and list it on my Depop. I did just list some more stuff on my Depop this morning. So if you guys are in the mood for some shopping, I got some stuff if you want. And then I'll just continue putting some stuff up there. But I feel like someone else would like it way more. As much as it's very cute and it fits me very well, where am I going to wear that? And also, like, my style, I sometimes dress in that kind of like 70s-ish style, but that one isn't as me as I would like it to be. I think if it was a different color, I think I would have grabbed it, but it's kind of like, it's like gold. And I feel like when I wear gold, I get completely washed out. Okay, let us continue. I know this isn't a Hogwarts Legacy stream, but I want it to be Thursday. Sorry. You can wait. The next question is, what are you going back to school for? How exciting, always adding new adventures. I am very excited. I actually can't like even express my excitement because for a while I was kind of like on the edge and I was like, what am I going to do? Right. And I've been to school previously. I've been through like some of my like generals in college and I left during COVID. Like, I think I didn't go back for my fall semester in 2020 because I was like, everything's shut down. All my classes are going to be online anyway. I really do well in a classroom. And I was like, this isn't really the area that I want to be anyway. And I was going to school for education at that time. I wanted to be a history teacher, essentially. And then I was like, you know what? Education, as much as I love educating people, as much as I love teaching people and inspiring people and things like that, I was like, one, school shootings have been something to like keep me away from that kind of field. But also I spoke to my old history teacher and I was like, is this something that like you feel fulfilled in? And he basically told me like, I don't have the same amount of freedom that I used to be able to teach. They give you exactly the curriculum and you have to follow that to a T. And the way that education has gone, sorry, I'm going on a tangent. The way that education has gone recently is you get it's not even like a lecture, you know, you get your notes handed to you word for word. They're word for word to the study guide. They're word for word to the test. And you're not really learning anything. You're just memorizing something. And it's not sticking. It's not thought provoking. It's not making you question. It's not making you actually learn. I don't want to do that. That's not the way that I want to teach. And so I was like, okay, this isn't really for me. And I have been focusing a lot more, obviously, on my social media and growing that way. And I wanted to do that. And then I was like, you know, I kind of am at a plateau where I love this type of work. I love editing as much as it's like a tedious thing. And like, it takes a lot of energy for me to get started. But once I'm in it and I'm like in a groove and I'm in a flow, like I enjoy that process. I love storytelling. I've always been kind of a writer in my life. I've filled out so many countless journals. I took independent creative writing for years. I took like every like literature and creative writing class that I could in school. And it was something that my teacher was like, do not stop doing this. Like, please, you have a voice, you have something good, you have a way to share emotion and things like that. And so I think that has translated a lot into what I'm doing now with some of my content, with my YouTube videos, with things like that. And I was like, honestly, I want to be able to level up this a little bit and join in this kind of career field where there's entertainment, where there's acting, directing, producing, things like that. So my goal is to go for media production. And I also want to at least take a couple classes on computer science and be able to just know the ins and outs of my own computer, and also be able to like work on that and on, yeah, basically I don't want to do anything. Pretty much was like software coding, whatever, because that's to me obsolete at this point, because you have so many different AI, like generative AI kind of taking over, and you have AI writing itself. What's the point of me going into like coding or software or anything like that? But as far as my focus and my main goal is media production, not only will that help me in the career that I'm trying to be in, which is as a creator, but it will also help me if I wanted to, jump into a different company or work in that way, or just kind of get a foot in the door in the entertainment industry. Like that's like where I kind of thrive and where I belong. And I want to be able to do that. And so I had gone back and forth about it for a while. I had debated, because I was like, oh, there's nothing that like college can teach me that I can't learn in a YouTube video or on myself. And I was like, honestly, yes, that's true. But that kind of is true for a lot of different career fields, and people still choose to get the degree and get the knowledge. And I think that being a part of a class and being a part of like having incentive of like, okay, I have to do this like to get my degree. I can't just like slap this off. Like having homework, dude, I miss learning. I miss school. I really do. I loved school as a kid. I loved school as a teenager. I liked being able to go back to school when I was going for my first degree, like my last subject that I was studying. I enjoy that. I love that environment. And I always feel, listen, academic validation, nothing hits like that. Nothing hits like that. Doing well in school, feeling like you're learning something, it just like lights a fire in you. And I'm really excited to be able to do that. And then also for something that I enjoy, which is digital media. I love it. So yeah, I did talk to my brother today though. And he was like, well, didn't you just see that like AI can make videos now and stuff like that? And I'm like, okay, but that's as much as we can also tell a difference between like AI pictures and videos and stuff like that now, AI does not have a personal voice. And they can like, for me, I have my own story and my own story to share, and the things that have made me grow as a person. And I love to inspire people with that. I think that having a little bit more skill in those areas will help me be a better storyteller. And I'm just super excited. I'm not AI. I swear to God. I swear I'm not. But yes, I will start classes in the fall. So I have a few months to kind of prepare before then. And And I was kind of nervous. I applied, I think, like the second or third week in January. I applied a while ago, and then I got accepted. I didn't even see it because I was like on a trip, and then I checked my email when I was on this trip, and I was like, holy fuck, oh. And then it kind of became real. When you put something out there. I went through like these processes. I applied for I went through FAFSA. I applied for the college. I got my transcript sent over. You do all of these things, and you're like, it's kind of a hope at that point, or it's kind of like okay, I'm putting energy into this and I'm putting effort into this. And then once it actually happened, because I did have that thought of like, what if I don't get accepted because I didn't finish last time, or like, because I left school before. I was kind of worried a little bit. There's a fear in the back of my mind for sure. And then just seeing that it happened, I was like, okay, okay, let's go. Why don't you fly a plane? But I've seen people who like become pilots, and I'm like, that's cool for you. That's great. You would never catch me dead flying a plane. No. I'm scared. I get scared like even in an airplane as a passenger. Okay, the next question. Do you have a crush on me? Hey, I don't know you. Second, your fourth question, can I marry you? Hey, I don't know you. Ooh, this is a good one. When do you listen to your brain versus listen to your heart? That's a great question. And I think that is like a war that kind of all of us have. And I think now that I've grown and matured and I'm older now, I think I tend to listen to my heart a little bit more than I listen to my brain. Growing up and when I was younger and I was a little bit more like emotionally immature, I listened to my brain because I did not trust myself and I believed logic over emotion, logic over feelings. And I think that it was just, I had to realize that my brain is a fucking liar. Like I had to realize that, as much as we have observable thoughts, sometimes those fears, those doubts, those things that come up in your mind, this logic, this reasoning versus the heart kind of takes over and it seems so reasonable and it seems so believable. And there's been so many times where I've had to like analyze like what should I do? What decision am I going to make? And where does the decision come from? Like, where is the deciding factor? And as I was growing up, I think that it was just, I want to keep myself safe. I don't want to make myself feel uncomfortable. I don't want to put myself in situations where I'll regret something. Just the fear of uncertainty and of the unknown kept me in just a logical perspective. And I did not listen to my heart. And then like, as time went on and I look back and I was like, I wasn't really listening to what I wanted. I was listening to my fear keeping me safe. And now I think that I've come to a certain point where I do make decisions based on, how I feel and what I want. And I challenge those beliefs that tell me like, what if it doesn't work? And like, I will use, a recent example of this, like from my life, like me going full time as a content creator, that was a difficult decision. And I chewed on that for months. Because I set it as a goal. I was like, oh, this is a nice goal. I put it on my vision board for the year. I was like, I think I could probably do this. And then the more that it started to happen, the more that it seemed plausible and and actually possible for my life, I was like, oh, I never mind. I was like, I don't know if I actually can do this. And I set these goals. I was like, okay, fine. If this is actually going to happen, you know what? Once this happens, then I'll do it. Or once I see this consecutive like safety measure, then I'll do it. And that kept me kind of stuck. But it was also like me trying to control some outcome because I was uncertain about how it would go. And I did not know what it would look like or feel like. And so I just kind of had to be like, I want this. I had to like literally listen to my heart and be like, I want this. I've wanted this. This has been a dream for me. It's right here in front of me. I can keep myself safe. I can keep myself struggling. I can keep myself scared and doubtful, or I can just do it and jump in and just say, you know what? As much as this is scary, my brain is also a liar. My thoughts and my fears lie to me. Hey, thanks for the gift. And I just had to, I had to just like follow my heart with that and say like, fuck my fear and do what I actually want. Because like, as much as it is uncomfortable to step out that way and like not know who to listen to, the fucking angel on your shoulder, the devil on your shoulder. And like, as much as it comes to that point, I think I got to that crossroads so many times and then just didn't make a decision at all. I was like, okay, fine. I just, you know what? I'll just give up. Or I'll just like, I would like just disappear off of social media for like a week. Or I would get to a certain point and be like, I'm just going to take the easy way out because that's what would calm my fears in the moment. And then it didn't actually help because once like there wasn't the fear, then I was like, now I'm not doing what I want. Now I'm not going after what I want. And I got what I wanted right in front of me. And then I pussied out. And so like making that decision, I made that decision like 2 months ago almost. And it still is scary, but it's kind of like a daily thing of like, I'm not going to know what's going to happen. A lot of people, specifically my family, have been like, okay, well, what happens when AI takes over your job? Like what happens when you don't have this? And I was like, as much as I want to feed into the what ifs because I'm a what if ass bitch, like I am always like, what if? And trying to like predict how I will feel later or predict how I think everything will fall into place. I can't do that. It's one day at a time. I'm focused on today. I've been like, I'm kind of like made a routine for myself and that kind of thing. And that's what keeps me feeling successful. That's what keeps me feeling grounded and feeling like I know what I'm doing, is knowing that I have these what ifs and knowing that my head is logical and it wants me to be safe, and also saying, I don't want to be safe if I have to sacrifice the success that I want. So yeah. Are you on Twitch? I am. If you would like to join, that would be so great. Yes, she's live. Don't know if I could slide by today. What are you talking about? Your gut and instinct is something you have to trust for sure. Understood that way more. I think it also ties in, what is it called? Intuition. I think the biggest realization that I had was that anxiety and intuition are not the same thing. And I am an anxious person. I do have anxiety. And me feeling anxious about something and being like, I know this is how it's going to happen, is one, neurological. That's pattern recognition. Me saying, I've been in a position and felt like this before, or seen certain things like this before. And so I know how it ends. And so I'm going to predict that it will end badly. And I used to be a worst case scenario person always, of like, I used to only think of the worst case scenario. And then I kind of like switched my mindset to being like, I have to believe that will work out for me. I have to see the positiveness. How are things going to fall into place for me? How, like, what are all the ways in which this can work out, instead of thinking of like focusing on the ways that it won't, or the ways that I'll fail. And you said, what's the Twitch? It's in my bio if you'd like to, but also it's just the same username. It's Shelbs Ty. But listening to my intuition feels calm. Intuition feels like knowing. Intuition feels like, it doesn't make you panic. You know what I'm saying? Whereas like fear or anxiety about something, I think that is different. That's just your brain. That's your animal brain trying to keep you safe. And distinguishing the difference between those two helped me immensely to be able to choose from my heart or from my head, or just combine the two. Sometimes they're right. Sometimes there's a smart way to go about something, and yeah. Okay, hold on. What are you even talking about? Fireworks show. When people say they get lucky, I think it's hard work manifested into your life path and deserved, Yeah, I think that I get told I'm lucky all the time. You're so lucky you look like that. You're so lucky you have followers. You're so lucky you like can do this, whatever. And I'm like, this had nothing to do with luck. This had everything to do with every single time I was confronted with, fear of the future. Every single time I was confronted with doubt or failure, if I had like weeks that my videos didn't do well, or, I lost, this happened a couple weeks ago. I think it was like a month ago. I lost 7,000 followers in a week. Oh my God. I was like, I just went full time and now I'm what? I was so scared. And I was like, okay, this is not the end for me. That doesn't mean that this isn't right for me. That doesn't mean that this isn't going to work for me. It just means that I've hit something right now that is bringing up fear, and I still have to choose to try, and so I did, and I kept doing my draft dumps and I kept posting, and then I made up all of those followers plus more. I think we're almost, hold on, I actually don't know where it's at now. I've kind of been hovering around the same place on Instagram for a while. Yeah, we just got to 143. I was at 133, I guess. When I looked, I was like, oh my God, I've lost so much. And we just got to 143 this morning, 143,000 this morning. So that's crazy. And also like looking back, progress helps me a lot. Choosing to like be afraid, that's one thing. I have taken intentional time to like sit in it and seen progress. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I will go back and look at pictures and videos of like the time before, or making comparisons of, where I am now versus where I was before, and saying like, see my growth, see the progress. This is because you just keep showing up. You just keep showing up daily. Failure isn't telling you to do something else. Failure is telling you to persevere. Yes. I think that it's an invitation to choose differently. I think that it's kind of like, yes, it is there just to keep you kind of safe, that fear that comes up that's like, I'm failing, I'm not doing it right. It is also such an invitation. It is such an opportunity to like see what you are made of, to see if you have that grit, to see if you actually want it bad enough, to see if you are willing to keep going. And I have. There's times like I look back and I'm like, you know, what was I even doing? like I look at my old videos from like a couple years ago and I was like, I cannot believe how much I have progressed since then in just analyzing other things and adding it onto my own skill set. And yeah, I think it's great. My buddy started a business, almost got evicted because of menu issues, now at 5 figures a month. And that's fucking awesome. That's awesome. I also am like getting a little bit, I did also do that. It was pretty much when I started streaming that like, I started streaming a little bit more in a different way. I've been going live almost every day for years. But it's different to, you know, stream on a different platform and to kind of switch up your content like that. People know me for so many different things. And so adding another one on was just like what are you doing? And then posting my stream clips too. They did well, but I started to lose followers because I think people were like, she's not posting golf cart videos anymore. Speaking of which, I actually did just reapply for my cart girl job this morning. I saw that they took the tarps off the greens and I was like, it is time. It is time. But a lot of people know me like from my cart videos, from, I don't know, just like silly viral videos that I've had, or my fashion videos, or like I used to make a lot of fitness content on Instagram. But yeah, I think it's just like adding a little bit more to my personality. I see a lot of big creators that I've known just make silly, haha, funny videos, and then they started streaming afterwards because they understand like this is an area where you get to connect with people. Okay, let's go to the next question. Next one is, where's my Instagram? Do you like Souls-like games, like Dark Souls? Is that what you're talking about? I think I played it like once and it was very frustrating, but I also like had no gaming skills at the time. Because I hadn't played that type of game. I feel like I might be able to. It's hard. I know it's hard. I feel like I might be able to. Let me finish Hogwarts Legacy and like I'll consider it. But I'm progressing in those games and in like battles and stuff like that in those games. So I should maybe I'll give it a crack. But there are similar type of like battles in Legacy, so I guess I would like that style of game. Do people from Denver actually think Colorado Springs is ass? I'm not from Denver, so I can't really tell you that. I don't live in Denver. I'm not from Denver. I frequent Denver sometimes, but I'm mostly in Fort Collins, like pretty much all the time. But I've been to Colorado Springs a lot too. I have family in Colorado Springs that I go visit. I don't hate the infrastructure in Colorado Springs is probably my least favorite city to visit. Hey, thanks for the gift. I struggle so much with the Colorado Springs infrastructure. I feel like if I miss an exit, it's going to take me like an hour to get to where I'm going to like loop back around. The roads are also super confusing. It's not my favorite place in Colorado, but it's not my least favorite place in Colorado. It's not Pueblo. I don't pop in often, but I find your down-to-earthness and philosophical talks really refreshing. Thank you, Brecken. I really appreciate you saying that. That's kind of like what I love to do. That's like who I am as a person. I hate small talk. I hate surface level stuff and conversations and connections and whatever. I don't like that. I love to know. I love to like think deeply, know what makes people tick, hear other people's stories. And that's just what I love. I love it. I've always been that way. I don't know. Deep talks. God, nothing feels better. Hello. Last 3 Google searches. Oh, fuck. I don't even know. Let's go. History. I have 3. The top one is the meme. I'm always like, I talk in memes. Like I'm texting in memes. I'm talking in memes. Like I love like banter like that. And I just will like Google the one that I'm looking for just to find it, pull it up, like copy paste it into my text. So the meme was the last one. The please meme was also one. And then the third one is wave particle duality. So, hey, that's me. She's back. I am the same way. Like, tell me your passions. Let's reflect on the depth of whatever we are watching. Low key, I feel like sometimes when I have conversations like that, though, with people who aren't as deep as me or can't really reach that kind of intellectual depth, I feel like, hey, thanks for the gift. I feel like I'm therapizing them sometimes. Or like, there's also been times, this happened last year, and I'm about to go into a story time right now because it made me so uncomfortable, and I had to learn very strong boundaries with who I can talk to like that. And I had this person who went to the same gym as me, and he had followed me because my gym shares my content sometimes, either on their story, or if I, tag them in my post, they'll like repost it, or I'll add them as a collaborator or whatever. And he had followed me because he found me through Instagram, through the gym, and he followed me for a while. He was kind of, what do you say, NPC, where he would like comment on my pictures, videos. It was always encouragement. It was always kind. It was always nice. And I was never like uncomfortable at that point because I was like, this is just someone on Instagram, right? They're just on their social media. They don't know who I am, whatever. And then last year I started working at this gym, and I worked there part-time, and I did like the evening closing shift for months. And that was kind of the time that he would go, was like right before it closed. It was like he would go in at 10:30, 11 p.m. and be there literally until we closed. And then they'd wait in the parking lot for us little girls to leave, so they know that we, got in our cars safely. And I always thought that was, nice. And there were times where he would come up to the front desk and be saying something, and it was kind of like small talk interactions. And then there was a point, I think, where he was having just a bad day, and I could tell. And I, like I said, I speak to everyone pretty much the same, or I did at that point. I speak to everyone the same, like they're my friend. And one, I think that men like already struggle with misinterpreting kindness for intention or like romantic interest. But I think he was just saying something about, his job. He was like tired, whatever, and I just asked him like, what are you doing? Like, do you even like what you're doing? Because it seemed like he didn't. And he was like, no, like, I wish that I could do this. I tried to do this and I failed to do this. And I was like, why would you give up? Just because you failed one time doesn't mean you're going to fail every time. Like, why wouldn't you try again? And just basically, like, yeah, speaking to him the same way that I would speak to my friends, and the same way that I speak to myself. And I basically was just like, don't give up. You have a dream, you have something that you want to do, like, go do it. Like, what's stopping you? And there were times where like, it would think that was like a conversation. It was a short, small conversation. And then it, came back, and we had talked about like other things that he had failed with in life. And I was like, okay, maybe he doesn't have close friends that he can talk to about this. Maybe bro's never been to therapy. I myself am a therapy warrior. I went to therapy for years and years and years and years and years. And I think that he just kind of, I became that kind of person that was a safe person to talk to. I'm never really judgmental. I'm never really, rude or anything like that. A lot of the times, if there's a conversation that I start to be like, oh, I don't want to be in this conversation right now, I'm like, you know what? They probably need to be seen and heard today, and I can do that for them. I am that person that can see them and hear them and offer some perspective, and that's not a bad thing for me to do. That's a gift that I have. And it got to a point where we had a conversation. I think it was about just him being like alone. He's an older guy. I think he's in his 40s, and he was saying like how he feels lonely, or he doesn't have whatever. And I started to get this kind of like feeling that he was insinuating something between him and I was like, no. And then he had reached out on Instagram. First of all, I can't just run away. I was at the front desk of my job. I can't just leave. And I was the only one up there. So he had messaged me on Instagram, this really, really long message about how rare I am as a person, how like deep I am, just expressing a lot of connective interest that I did not share, right? To me, this was just another guy at the gym. And I was like, as much as that's kind for you to say, and that makes me feel really good, like, because he was just kind of, up and down complimenting me and saying that, I am this special, amazing person. I was like, all I did was just listen to you for like 5 minutes. And I told him, I don't feel that way about you. And I apologize, like if I came off that way. And then it progressed. And he was like, I have to make this up to you. I have to, it got so, and to the point where he was like, he was telling me he's catching himself daydreaming about me and fantasizing about me and, imagining us being together or for me to give him a chance and essentially begging at this point. And I was just like, listen, this was nice at first. This was kind at first. This was something that at first I did not feel threatened by or uncomfortable with. And then I asked him, I was like, please don't reach out to me again. Like I set a very firm boundary. I said, please don't reach out to me again. He kept going, paragraph after paragraph after paragraph for days. And I had to block him because I was like, I think I reiterated it again before I blocked him. I was like, hey, I ask you, please don't. Please, I'm uncomfortable now. And you kept going. And so like, do not. I think I said it like one more time. And then I finally blocked him. But that was a point where I had to be like, you know what? As much as that was misinterpreted on his part, I can't just be out here being everyone's therapist for free and just expecting them to not fall in love with me. Like it just, I think a lot of people don't have that depth in their life. A lot of people live on the surface. They're going through the motions. They're doing whatever. They're just like, I have point A to point B to do today and just, thinking about whatever. I don't process the world like that. I don't live like that. I am constantly, thinking and meaning making and, being introspective and integrating my thoughts and my feelings and whatever into my world and into my life. I want to, grow as a person. Like I said before, like I want to gain wisdom in my life and be, not just successful, but like emotionally intelligent and grounding. And I want to be that good person, that good solid person. And so like, that's the way that I live. And I always treat my friends that way too. Like my friends and I, we always have like the deepest talks of like, what makes you tick? What's making you, let's talk about this pattern. What are you seeing in this way? And my friends do the same to me. They can call me out all the time and be like, okay, but do you see a pattern here? Do you see, where this thought is coming from? Do you see like these kind of things challenging each other? That's, I love that. I love that. But to do that to someone who is not used to that, who does not have types of connections like that in their life, who, and also it does not help. It does not help that I am like, so, I don't know, sunshine coated. It doesn't help that I am like, the embodiment of a fairy princess bubble. But I think that it just got misinterpreted completely. And I thought back, I'm like, what could I have done differently? What could I have? And I realized that, I was taking on some sort of emotional labor for this man, even if briefly, to where I didn't need to do that. And it also, I don't know. I just learned boundaries are important. And it's good to find those people that can be deep with you. Hey, thanks for the gift. It's good to find those kinds of people. But at the same time, I don't know. I don't know. Just because you find someone that can be intellectually deep does not mean that they are an angel sent from heaven to come bless your life. And it just got into this, the way that he was describing it, the way that it just got so detailed too. These messages are kind of frightening. And it like made me kind of like really uncomfortable, really sick for a while because I was like, this man was having these like movie moments with me in his mind and he's telling me about them. And I'm just like, anyway, that happened last year. My thing just died, unfortunately. Have you since dialed back on your therapy counseling with strangers? In a way, yes, I think so. I think I always prompt people to think. And I think that's not everybody wants that. I've learned that not everybody wants to grow. Not everybody wants to, see themselves very much. Like I said, there's so many people that are just in the world coasting by and not really thinking about things deeply. Or, there's a lot of people who are intentionally not thinking about something. I think like I've met people in the past year that I provoke them to think about something that they are trying not to think about. And I'm like, but why? But why would you do that? And there's been so many moments with just different people that it starts to get like an emotional moment where they're like, they are experiencing emotion because I'm like, oh, you have unprocessed shit in your brain? Let's touch it. Let's poke at it. Because I'd love to do that. How does that make you feel? How did that make you think? How did it change you as a person today? How does it like set up the decisions that you make today? Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. But I probably should. You could do a therapist pop-up like Lucy and the Peanuts. Dude, just go to the park, set up a little stand and be like 10 minutes of free therapy. I'll do it for you. I'm no therapist. I've taken lots of psychology classes, but a lot of like my interest and things that I have read and books that I have read in my free time and things like that have to do with psychology, have to do with internal processing, have to do with neurochemistry and biology and things like that. I love learning about humans. I am such a humanitarian at heart. I love people. I think every single day I have a moment where I'm like, God, being a human is such a gift and I'm so grateful to be here. Fuck. And I want other people to think that way too. I want everyone to see like we are doing our little rat race. We're in our own little world. We're on our little social medias. We have our little jobs to go to and our families to come home to and all of these things. But can we just sit in awe for a second? Because that's the greatest feeling ever. People who chase happiness, people who chase success, people who chase money, whatever. I'm chasing that awe feeling of like, oh, it's indescribable to like sit and be like, I have the rare chance to be born right now and to live on this planet and be connected to people and meet the people that I have and have the family that I feel so lucky and grateful no matter all the hardships that I've gone through, no matter how much like pain and suffering that I have endured in my life, I'm still so fucking grateful to be here. And I just want other people to feel that way too. It's awesome. It's so fucking cool. The way I think I was talking about this yesterday, I think that the way that we, oh my God, here's the crazy thing. You know how like you get confirmation back when you say things out loud? Oh, freaky. I was saying out loud, like, we are so lucky to have imagination. We are so lucky to have evolved as this, mammal, this being that has complex thoughts and a really strong sense of emotion. We are so lucky to have that. And then I saw this video come up from Harrison Ford doing like an acceptance speech. And he was like, I feel so lucky that this is my life. And I was like, okay, girl, get out of my head. Second, he was like, we are so lucky that we have imagination. And I was like, bro, I literally just said, life is not real. What? And I mean, we can't really like super concrete confirm that other mammals don't have imagination or whatever, but we know that they function off of like their little monkey brain, right? Classical conditioning, you know how to train dogs, you know how to do these things. I think my favorite thing is when I saw that bears will watch sunsets and like they were like studying bears and they found that like bears will like sit and watch a sunset and like a bear can marvel. I love that. Makes me want to watch Brother Bear. But to be able to communicate all of the complexities that we have, to use linguistics to share ideas and all of these things, like that's so fucking cool. She's talking about bears watching sunsets. Of course I am. Yeah. You never seen Brother Bear? Tell everybody I'm on my way. Yeah, get him in the chat. Yeah, get him. Imagine having no imagination. God, we would be so robotic. And I think that listen, as much as I am an advocate for social media, obviously this is my job, obviously I love it and feeling connected and sharing, just like it's a tool, it is also somehow killing our imagination because people are so consumed in distraction rather than in creation. And I made a video about this last week of like, start using your imagination more, start thinking more weird shit, start creating more, start doing something. Like, I think the doom scrolling is something that it was a goal that I wanted to do away with for a while. And I've successfully gotten to the point where I'm creating a lot more than I'm consuming. And I love that about myself because I'm like using my imagination and acting on ideas. But I remember the time when I was like doom scrolling for so long or just consuming other people's things or that kind of thing. it didn't make me have my own ideas. The only time that I have ideas and creativity flowing is when I am undistracted. And distraction is how people function a lot of the time. Like I said earlier, like people are kind of going through the motions, trying not to think about something, trying not to feel something, trying to, chase some sort of version of success that they have in their head, that they are just constantly distracted. I'm not like that. I think I spend a lot of time alone in my thoughts or doing something, or like I do lots of puzzles. I do lots of puzzles, and sometimes I'll literally just like put on chill music with no words and do my puzzle and just think intentionally and process and like let it flow. Also, like why else do you think people who meditate won't shut the fuck up about it? Why do you think that is? It's because they feel better. And they're like more connected to themselves than they have been in a long time since they started. Meditation, breath work, yoga. I'm not one of those like, okay, clean girl yoga aesthetic. No. But yoga was something not only that helped my body a lot, but regulating my nervous system. That's a buzzword. That's a topic that has been, no one can shut the fuck up about regulating your nervous system. It's the same thing as like balancing your hormones. As much as I have made videos on balancing your hormones, I have made Instagram videos and reels and whatever about what that means. But like your hormones are in a constant fluctuation, right? They're never going to be like perfectly balanced. We have phases that we move through either throughout the day or throughout the month. Like there's no such thing as like a balanced hormone, whatever, but you can support your hormones for sure. The same way that your nervous system is made to be dysregulated in a way. You know what I'm saying? Like it serves a function and a purpose to keep us safe, to keep us alive, to send signals from our brain to our body so that we understand what's going on. But nervous system overload is a really big thing. And I don't think it's so much like dysregulation as it is just like oversaturation. There's a lot of things going on at once, especially like right now with the state of the world. Our nervous systems are like, as much as it's not a conscious thing that happens, this happens subconsciously. It happens quickly, like quicker than we can even imagine. These signals being sent, and we are kind of desensitized to a lot of the things that we're seeing, these shootings, these bombings, all of these things that are happening in the world and in the United States. That our nervous system does catch that and like pay attention to it for a second, even if we're not consciously interacting with it. And it can heighten a little bit. Am I safe? Are we safe? Are we safe? Like this constant, like, and putting us in this like survival mode, this state of fight or flight, this state of like, I can't process anything right now because I'm overwhelmed. We were constantly overwhelmed. And the whole like nervous system dysregulation thing, like I think as much as it is a buzzword, as much as it is a hot topic right now, I think genuinely what people need is to just like be alone for a little while, undistracted, Write down what you're thinking. Write down what you're feeling. Write down what's coming up. Write down your goals. Write anything, right? Get it out. Purge. Feel emotion. Be undistracted. You don't constantly have to have stimulation all the time to keep this from happening, because that just builds up this pressure cooker. And when you suppress these things that you're seeing, you suppress these things that you're noticing, what you're feeling, what you're thinking, suppression, the only like way to release suppression, it happens through implosion. You implode, you freak out. And then all of these things that you've been pushing down, all these like these anxious thoughts, or like, that's why, like, have you ever, I'm sure you have like gotten to a point where like the most minor thing will happen to you and you're like, the fucking world is ending. Like, and all of a sudden you're acting like, you feel like you're acting like a little kid because you're like, you understand all these things just come flooding back to you of like everything that you're going, or everything you've, work stress, for me, it's, I haven't talked to my friends in 3 days, like, and all of these things like they pile on top of each other until you literally explode. And that's why I think that nervous system regulation comes from just being in the moment for a minute, breathing, basically like manually overriding your nervous system and saying, I am safe in this moment. I'm not going to die. There's not a lion after me going to attack me. And I'm physically getting out of that animal brain and saying, I am physically safe right now. I can breathe through this. I can take deep breaths and calm the nervous system from, overfiring. And then saying, where is the root of this coming from? what are the things like I brain dump a lot. If I feel like overwhelmed or I'm like, oh, there's like so many things that like are on my mind, I take a piece of paper and I like write it out like everywhere, like a messy ass brain dump, and then I organize it. What are the things that are in my control? What are the things that are out of my control? What are my fears coming up in this? What can I do about this? And like start to organize it, and then from there make a plan of, this is how I'm going to move forward. This is how I'm going to keep myself safe. That's why like the gym, physical exercise that releases endorphins can help regulate the nervous system, reducing stress, reducing cortisol, things like that. That's why like if I don't go to the gym, I feel like an angry person. I feel like I can tell the difference in my stress levels, in my sleep, in my appetite, and all of that on days that I don't go to the gym versus days that I do. And that's why whatever kind of exercise, I talk about this all the time on my Instagram. You don't have to just go to the gym. If you're not a gym girly, okay, find something that you like doing. You like rollerblading? Go rollerblading. You like, I've been snowboarding this winter. Go snowboarding. Like it's something that is physical, something that gets your blood pumping. You got your heart rate elevated. That's exercise. Just something to clear out some of the stress, and then like be alone with your thoughts for like, I don't know, 15 minutes. Can you handle 15 minutes alone with yourself? Can you? I love spending time alone. I love talking to myself. The paradox is that instead of getting many different ideas because so many different people have access to creating content, social media feels like everything is the same with slight variation because everyone is chasing the same trend. I agree with you. And we did talk about this yesterday on the stream, that things are repetitive now. Yeah, maybe this wasn't yesterday. I don't know. I'm losing track of time. I have no concept of time, guys. Where you have movies that are coming out that are the same. Sequels after sequels after sequels, where you don't have new original ideas. I have noticed this specifically in fashion, right? I'm a big fashion girly. I make fashion content, all of those kinds of things. Fashion now is just repeating old styles. And we do have, the thrifty kind of people who are combining styles and combining trends and seeing what works and seeing what weird outfits they can put together, and, combining not only just different styles, but the different eras of style. You have someone that can successfully blend 90s fashion with 70s fashion and whatnot. But the fact that our trends are 90s, 80s, 70s, Y2K, Y2K grunge, like all of these different things that we've seen, with nothing's new. Show me something new. I thought that by this time we were going to be dressing like Effie Trinket from the Hunger Games. Like, show me something new. Show me something different. And that's why we tend to place this kind of cool value on people who dress outside of the norm or who have solidified their own style. I kind of jump between. I don't have one single solid style, but also like, I feel like that's a box to fit into. If I'm only going to dress, from these certain brands or from this certain era or whatever, it's confining. That feels like a cage to me, because what if I'm in a different mood the next day? What if I essentially, my mom always called me Barbie growing up. And like, I've even had friends be like, you are so Barbie coded. And I kind of am, because I have a different outfit for everything, but I'm not seeing anything new happen. I'm not seeing, maybe, and even it's been Fashion Week, looking at these styles, it's like, yes, that's gorgeous. These fashion designers are coming out with great things. It's gorgeous. It's cool. I've kind of seen it. Have we hit a cap? Have we hit a wall where we can no longer make new stories and make new media and new movies and have no new fashion? We are just a repeat of everything, but it is because we have access to it all, and having access to ideas in that way and seeing what other people are doing, that's inspiring. But where do we go from there if it's just a repeat, if we're just copycats, AI is getting insane. Use AI for good. And can we advance? I feel like using it has kind of halted us a little bit. Can we advance, please? Why do you think we were able to innovate more years ago compared to now? I'm not sure. And like, I've rented a lot of fashion books from the library before. But it's looking at, let's say, jumping into the 80s, right? Looking at the fashion then, some of it was pulled from like centuries ago type fashion. Like we are recycling. We have certain things and certain pieces, but you can see things like gradually change. I love those videos that show like fashion through the years where you see how things have progressed and how like we went from like the 70s with big bell bottoms, big colors, big prints, and all of these things with muted tones. A lot of it was we had lots of browns, lots of orange, lots of like deep greens, lots of, you know, all these things. We switched to the 80s, neon. Everybody's got big hair. Everybody, like the music changed, like just evolution in general, like human evolution. I don't know, it's so strange to watch it progress and culturally progress, because this isn't, I'm saying like America, or the styles and culture in America, where I'm from, where that's the history in which I'm exposed to. And although we have access to history of other cultures and stuff like that, their culture progresses in completely different ways, and they all influence each other. It's just crazy. Sociology is a crazy thing. Call me an anthropologist. I think it's because we have too much access. Years ago, you were forced to be creative. Can we talk about the access of the world, okay? And this is me going back to, my previous college education when I was a social science major. I loved my social science classes. One of my professors wrote a book on like media, like digital media, and watching current events in real time and live. And he talks about how, we in civilization 500 years ago did not have the same access. And so the world looks much bigger at that point when it takes you months or years to cross an ocean. Whereas now we can do that in a day. There's 250,000 flights a day? A day! RIP to our ozone layer, seriously. But he emphasized that the access that we have now and the ability to see people across the world. And he was like, I remember watching the Berlin Wall fall on CNN live. And that was not something that could have possibly happened before. And look at you right now, sitting in here with me live. And you could be completely across the world. Like that type of access, it feels like progress. It feels like human advancement, but it's kind of, halting. You can kind of make you freeze. Like I was just at the flea market the other day with my friend, and we found a whole bunch of these old phones, like telephones or whatever. And then I was like, isn't it crazy now that kids don't grow up with home phones? And that was what we grew up with. We had CD players. My mom had 8-tracks and record players and all of these different advancements, even in just the last 100 years. But that now we're halted because effort is not a thing. Because everything is so convenient and easy. The same way that when we were at the flea market, I was like, do you remember when you would call your family or call someone that you wanted to talk to? How often is it that we call people? Do you know what I'm saying? To just catch up. I called my brother today, but to make the effort, it's easy to send a text. It's easy. It's on your time. It's, there's no intention really behind it, but to call someone and you have to be in the right place at the right time and wonder if they're home or wonder if they're available. And not everybody wants to talk on the phone, but that was how we kind of stayed connected because there was effort behind it. You knew that this person was thinking about you. They went out of their day to communicate with you and that kind of thing. Whereas now, how often do you call your family? How often do you go see them? And that's the thing too, is I remember making trips every single holiday to go see my family. And then the more access that we had to our family, the less we go. We're like, why go see them? I can literally just FaceTime them. You know what I'm saying? It's just different. Analog media revival. I don't know if it is going to come back. I don't know if that's a dream. That's a nice dream. But I think people would have to be intentional about it. Maybe the more uncertain our world and daily life become, the more we long for the certain and cling to the things we know, which is our past. I think you have a good point there, Jimmy. But yeah, I'm hoping that will be the case, but not to be the devil's advocate, but we all lived through a very, 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 very tumultuous time for humans going through a pandemic, right? And it is crazy that we lived through that, and when we forget about it a lot, we're like, oh my God, we did live through that, through the fear, through the media, through the unknown, through the quarantines, through hundreds and thousands of people of dying in weeks. That was a scary time. But at the same time, everyone was like, I miss being out. I took for granted like the life that I had, whatnot. Third spaces closed down and weren't available for people. And so everyone was like, I can't wait to get back out and do this. I can't wait to do this. We see a little bit more effort in people spending more time. Third spaces are opening up. And then it falls off. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I personally have like tried to host game nights at my house, and people are like, yeah, that sounds fun. I want to go. And then it comes down to it. And like, I've talked to friends about this before, because like people that didn't show up or people that didn't come, and they told me like, oh, something came up, or they gave me an excuse, or they gave me some sort of reason why they didn't come. And like, I've talked to some of them before, and they were just like, honestly, like it just felt like overwhelming. And I think that we are so comfortable in our routines, in our home, in our isolation, in our distraction, that making intentional time to connect with other people, to spend time, to laugh, to whatever, even if it sounds great, when it comes down in the moment, when it's time to do it, it's like, I don't know. I'd rather not, right? Because it takes energy. And for anyone who is going about their day just constantly overwhelmed, or if their nervous system is regulated, or they're busy or whatever, taking that time, taking that energy, it seems like a massive amount of effort. But it's the same way that I do a lot of hobbies, right? I do a lot of different things. I'm kind of constantly in just trying new things in my city. And I share a lot about that. I've had so many videos of me that I've shared, the hobbies that I'm doing, the things that I'm trying. They kind of blow up and everyone's like, oh my God, like, where did you do this? Oh my God, like, this seems so fun. I want to go do this, blah, blah, blah. It was just like in my city. And I live in a small city. Like, it's not crazy. It's the capital of Wyoming, but it's not anything crazy. There's barely any people that live here. And these things exist. These third spaces exist. These learning spaces exist. But it's not... It's not that they're not there. It's not that they don't exist around you. It's not that you don't have access to them. It's that you don't make an effort to do it, you know? Oh, what? Okay, yes, I'll stop for a second and read the comments. Thank you for calling me out. Shelby. My name is Shelby. It's not Shelly. Definitely rolling up with snack food. I love that. I've tried a couple times in the last few months, and I don't mean to make anyone feel bad or feel guilty for not coming, but like, I extend invites because I want them there. It's not just like okay, like, I'm doing this just in case, whatever. And then when they don't show up, I'm like, why? I don't take it personally, but it's also like I made the effort to like make time and space for you to be here. Why wouldn't you? You know? Does anybody else think that society is slowly turning into the movie Up? What do you mean? I think I think we're more on track for Wall-E than we are for Up. That's why it's valuable. Sorry, I'm so thirsty. My Adderall makes me so thirsty. How can you give time for a third space when you need to use that energy on working and just to afford rent? Trust me, I am in this myself. Like, just because I went full time does not mean that I'm just like rolling in the dough right now. And I do have intentional time where I have to go make money and create, like, finding a balance in life was something I struggled with so much when I was younger. And even in the past like year, finding that balance. And we compare the lives that we have to the people that we see online. And I did specifically, I used to think that I needed to be in the gym for like 3 hours a day if I wanted the body that I have. And that's not true. I think I'm in the gym for like maybe an hour a day. And I don't go overboard, and I just make the time that I have work. And I don't let myself get as consumed. And like, I do try to create a schedule, and I am such a routine person. Like, I do need my routine, and I settle into it. And if you are, I guess, hold on, the third spaces, do you have an hour on a Saturday you could meet with a friend? Do you have an hour on a Sunday you could go take a class on something? Do you have, like, there are constantly events posted everywhere, and they just had like a cooking class here in Cheyenne for like focaccia bread. There are constantly opportunities. Are you going to take them? Do you really not have an hour away from work? And if you don't, like, I had to go through that too, of like, I used to be a workaholic so bad. I would not pass up an opportunity to make money. I would not pass up an opportunity to work. Anytime someone was like, do you want to switch shifts? Can you pick up my shift? Hey, can you work tomorrow? Like anything. Yes, I'll be there. And then I would be like, I'm tired. I've had no time to myself. My laundry's piling up. I haven't done my dishes in 2 days. Like I would freak out and I did it to myself. And I had to learn that, like, you know what? My work-life balance is non-existent. And my job and the way that I make money is not my life. And I have to live my life and find some sort of better balance with that. Now, is that also trading financial insecurity and, being a little bit worried? Yes, I got worried. I mean, I've been worried. I went to the food bank today to get groceries because I spent my money, because I'm doing my best. But also at the same time, I'm like, a lot of people are doing this. It's there for a reason. Like, it's not, I didn't feel like shame about it. I was just like, okay, this is here. Don't have money for food. Gonna go get some food for free, but just finding a better balance. I didn't know you used to be, what? I didn't know you used to be an alcoholic. Why are you just saying? Are you talking to me or are you talking to someone else? Because I've never been an alcoholic. Workaholic. Yes, I was a workaholic for sure. Yeah. And it was like compulsive. And that's why I say it's like a workaholic. It's not a cute little thing. It was a compulsive decision that I would make where I felt like I could not say no. And I had to do it or else. And even in the time that I would be at work on like a shift that I picked up and whatever, I would just be like, why did I do this? Why did I do this to myself? I have so many other things that I need to find this balance, and finding a balance between, especially like during the summer when my son is home, like finding a balance between being a mom and spending time with my son and getting things done and doing chores around the house and like keeping up with my space and keeping up with my living, seeing my friends, going out and doing things for me, participating in my hobbies, working, posting on social media. It feels a lot, but in the moment, it's like, what really is the most important? Obviously, security, stability, whatever. And like, where can I just fit things in, Or else what though? I felt like I would like fall apart and crumble if I didn't pick up a shift. If someone offered their shift to me, I would be like, there's no other day ever that I can ever make money. This is my last opportunity to ever make money. I have to do it. Like, it was stupid. Yeah. And everybody has their priority too. People factor in their religion in that too. I'm not one of those people, but if that is one of your priorities and you want to put that in your balance, then do it. Okay. Jimmy, you said what kind of games? What are you talking about? Could you be more specific? Yeah, relationships too. Like finding that balance in relationships and finding a balance like between your time for all of these things. And it's like your precious resource. Your time is like your most precious resource and precious resource and your attention and that kind of thing. And you can only focus on so many at a time. And there's been times for sure where I've been like, how do I balance all of these different things and also a relationship at the same time? Like you just got to make it work. You just got to like, you find the time, you make the time. And then there's definitely been times too, I think this happened a couple of years ago, personally, where I was like, I was overgiving to certain areas, overgiving to work, overgiving to my relationship. And then I started to feel unfulfilled and I started to feel like not myself because I wasn't taking that time. Did we just, what? Follower goal met, let's go. Okay, what? The last time I checked my Twitch followers, I think I was at like maybe 200 something, 310. Since when? What kind of games do you invite them to do? Just like card games. Do you know how fun it is to just like sit and yap and laugh and crack jokes and hang out with your friends? I also invited people to do like a vision board night where we just come over and like basically go on Pinterest and like show people who we find on Pinterest. I don't know. But I like that. And I like my space. I like being home. I like hosting people. But there's just times where people are like, yeah, I'll be there. And then the day of, ghost. And these are people that I like enjoy and I interact with, but I think it is almost kind of surface level to them, or maybe it's like just through social media that it's harder to connect, you know? Oh my God, what if there's an awkward silence? What if there's an awkward pause and I don't know what to say? Who fucking cares? Like, who cares? Because you don't get closer to someone without spending time with them. Do you know what I'm saying? There's only so much you can do through commenting on someone's Instagram post and being like, yes, queen. There's only so much connection that comes with that. I'm trying my best. Pacific. Yeah, I said that. How do I talk to pretty girls? The same way that you would talk to any girl. Hey, what's up? Hey. Mango, calm it down. Jeez, come on. Do you also yap this much with your friends? They sleep mid-conversation, right? What? I think, yeah. There are certain friends, though. There are certain friends that see a different side of me than other. There are, like, every single person in my life and who I'm close to and who I got to know, each of them see a very different side of me than the other ones have. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, some of my friends, and I'm pretty consistent, but, like, you know, we have different things. We're sharing about different things. We're relating on different topics. One of my friends has been through a very, very, very similar, close to home, difficult, painful experience in their life that I went through like 8 years ago. And she went through it about the same time. And we relate on that. We can find common ground on that. And so she sees a different side of me, which is the one who has gone through this. That I don't talk about that to everyone because I don't trauma dump to all my friends. I'm not like, hey, I went through this hard time. Like, we kind of like slowly opened up about going through this together and we were able to find that common ground. But I think, yeah, I think yes. My answer to your question is yes, I do yap this much to my friends, okay? Sorry. But, I'm out of water. Shelby, I your friend and I never ever sleep mid-conversation. I don't think my friends do either. Also, something I love to do with my friends, beat a dead fucking horse. No one will beat that dead horse harder than I. I love, you just you go get some Mexican, you get a little margarita, you get a little chips and salsa, and you beat that dead horse. Or we go get sushi, and we just, And you know what? And God bless them. I love that. But my friends are also like psychoanalyzers. I am such a psychoanalyzer. Oh my God. Because I think I don't know, it makes me feel less judgmental to psychoanalyze because I can actually see like, where is this coming from? Why is this person acting like this? Is it their fault? Probably not. Are they conscious of it? Probably not. But at least I know. And that helps me somehow come to some sort of conclusion. But who is this person? Why are you here? Who are you? And why are you here? That's the better question. I accidentally took this off and now I'm kind of cooked. I'm not getting, oh no. I swallowed air. Would you say you're judgmental? I don't think so. There are times where I think I can be. I catch myself a lot. And I would say I grew up with a very judgmental parent. One of my parents is very, very judgmental and very mean about it. And I wouldn't say that they're a mean person, but they say mean things. And from a very young age, I kind of just clocked that. And I was like, I wouldn't speak about someone that way. That's not very nice. That's, where's your empathy kind of thinking? And I always challenged that parent about like, well, did you think about this before you said that? Did you think about this before you said that? And I think that having so much, having seen that so much, having witnessed that so much, and it happening so frequently, made me kind of be like, I don't want to be that person. And I want to, see beyond just how it makes me feel. I think that judgment and expressing judgment towards other people is kind of a really strong sign of emotional immaturity, because you're not seeing things, you're seeing everything out your ego. Like your ego runs your ass because you are experiencing an observation that leads to an emotion and then immediately acting on that emotion. And that, I think, is emotional immaturity. If you're not able to observe an emotion before you act on it, and you're acting from if you're reacting instead of responding, those are two very different things. Reactions come from emotional immaturity. And that's where I think the judgment stems from, is you had a reaction. You had an instant reaction of, you perceived something, you observed it, you saw it, it made you feel something, and that was your immediate reaction. First of all, low self-control. Second of all, quick reaction time, impulsivity. Those are things, these are byproducts of functioning out of your ego, out of, is this a threat to me? Does this make me feel better about myself? Does this make me feel worse about myself? Am I experiencing envy? Am I experiencing jealousy? Am I experiencing anger? Am I experiencing frustration? And outsourcing those emotions. That's what it is that feels uncomfortable to me. I'm going to make it your fault. I'm going to blame you. And that is just, I don't get along with those kinds of people either. I really don't. People who are judgmental, people who tear other people down, people who act out of their ego, like all of those things. I consider myself to be an emotionally intellectual person, an emotionally strong person, an emotionally mature person. I was not always this way. And the reason that I can see it now is because I have come so far from that. Is I used to be similar to that. I was never nearly as judgmental as one of my parents, but we all experience that of, why did I just snap at that person? Or why did I just blame them? Or why am I even mad? You ever had someone that you're just like, about, and you have no idea why? Because you are outsourcing your internal emotion, and you have no capability to identify that emotion, where it's coming from, and what belief it's like hitting in you. What little trigger just got pulled inside of you, I love that. I guess people just have perfect teeth, and I guess I'm just one of those people, sorry. Shelby, let's get serious. Why am I not a moderator yet? One, because you're freaking out in my comment section. Okay, control yourself. You act accordingly. Moderators don't act like that. I agree with you. That's so true. Projection is so common. And I think I was like about 23 when I kind of learned, I was in therapy and all these things, and I kind of learned like, what is projection? And I think it was because I had such a hard time thinking about like, what are people thinking about me? Like, why do people not like me? Like, why are people treating me this way? Like all of these things. And I realized and understood that how people treat you is their own internal projection of how they feel about themselves, of where their belief system is where their core self-esteem is. That is how you treat everyone. That's why like beautiful people are like beautiful on the inside too, because like they treat everyone with kindness and with respect and that kind of thing. Like those are good people. And I had to understand, not only are people doing this to me, I'm doing this to other people. And I journaled about this a lot when it happened, like when I was that age. Holy shit, that was like 5 years ago. I'm almost 28 and I'm gonna die. Guys, I turned 50 tomorrow. But I had to understand that I would journal. I think I experienced this one person in particular who like grinded my gears. And I was just like, ugh. And then I was like, what is it about them that's making me think like this? And I was like, it's because I see parts of myself in them. It's because I'm ashamed to admit that I'm also this way. It's because I had to just mull that over. And it takes time for you to process and see things with perspective and step out of your own ego and step out of like lower base thoughts, which are just basically like lower base thoughts. When you have your thought ladder set up, your lower base thoughts are like that you thinking only about yourself. It's like it's a selfish mentality. And it's I could say childish, but like that's kind of like the term that I need to use, because that is how children think. They don't have this ability to see beyond themselves and see how someone else might feel in a situation or what their actions might do to someone. They are only thinking about themselves. This is like very congruent with just being immature in general. Dang, Shelb's eyes be popping. Thank you. Thank you. What were we even talking about? Sorry. I'm just saying, I don't want to be a judgmental person. I don't consider myself a judgmental person. And I think that's where judgment comes from, is just emotional immaturity. Unfortunately. You know what they call this scientifically? Egocentricity. Yeah. I also just call it being selfish. Am I making a judgment? Is that judgmental for me to say that you're like, I'm just stating, if you want to be a moderator, act like it. Act like a moderator. Can we get your top 5 animes? Okay. Oh, I've been waiting for this one. I think in the top, I always say the Death Note is my favorite because it kind of is. It's just the one that has made me think the most. The one that made me like on my seat, the edge of my seat the most. I think Attack on Titan would be second because it did the same thing of like, I had to actually think of what is right and wrong here? Whose side am I on? So things that kind of like just make you think, things that are like spark curiosity. I think that was one of those, and just so good, so well animated. You love these characters. They made you really, really love these characters, and then they killed him. And then they killed him right in front of you. I would say Solo Leveling is probably my third, just because I am so fresh off of it, and that's the book that we've been reading on Wednesdays on the stream. So I'm still deep in it, and I do love how much that one's making me think and making me be like, where does free will end? Where do our decisions come from? And that kind of thing. But also just, it's such a cool story, and there's freaking dragons, bro. I think fourth would be Demon Slayer. I love Demon Slayer so much. I think being able to dive deep into these characters' backstories to make you see a villain, a demon, to make you see them, and then you get to see their backstory, and they're like, poor Tanjiro's just all of their therapists, actually. And they're like, oh, well, this is why I'm evil, and then this is what really happened to me that caused me to be this way. And you start to see people deeper. And that's just kind of, that's the way I function. That's what I've been saying this whole time, is like, I like to see what makes people tick. And you see these, what you would classify as evil. They have evil intentions. They're just bad all over. And you see that they were people. All of these demons were people at one point, and they had a life, and something happened to them. And this is them coming, they like some of them finding closure and finding, some sort of clarity about what they've done since. And I love that. You can pull from a lot of people's stories and see like, what is the internal motivation here? Is it they're doing this for someone else? Do you have it like Zenitsu, who just wants to make his, like teacher proud, and where he's coming from? Do you have it like Akaza, who's like just trying so hard to avenge losing everything because of his own guilt and shame and the way that he like let people down, or feels like it's his fault, or took on some sort of role that just wasn't his to bear. I think that that's just so important in a show, in a story, something that provokes thought like that, of we all can be a villain. We can all choose to be good. It all just depends on how you process that. What's happened to you? Are you going to choose to keep going? Are you going to choose this I'm a bad guy narrative, or are you going to choose to like, to stay on the light side, or to stay on the good side? That was 4, 5, I think. I want to say I would put 7 Deadly Sins in the top there, but I think I would put Jujutsu Kaisen in there. I think I just have such a strong personal love for Jujutsu Kaisen. One, because Itadori is obviously best boy, and he wins best boy award every time. But also, I think that's kind of the same thing. It makes you think. Here's the thought that it provokes in me is, what is my motivation? Him being like, I want to get to the end of my life and not regret anything, having to face fear constantly, having to fight with his internal like evil voice that's just like, give up. First of all, Sukuna, hot. Oh my God. I wish I wasn't so attracted to an evil fucking monster demon. But they make him so hot. For what reason? But also the things that his friends are going through, seeing those different personalities and seeing like, where do you find strength in your team, in your community, in the other people around you? Where can you lean on other people? Especially like you're getting through the Shibuya arc or the Shibuya incident, and he's in this like underground subway, whatever. And like, his friend is like, dude, you're gonna give up? Are you serious? And he's like, I can't do it. Just watching people hit their limit, hit rock bottom, not be able to just keep going. And then seeing that their friend, you have people counting on you. And these people like mirroring to him, I thought you said this. I thought this is what you wanted. I thought you said this. Are you gonna back it up right now or not? Like, I do love Jujutsu Kaisen so much. Let's see. Because this story just destroyed me. I did cry in the movie theater when I saw that movie. I don't know if you guys saw Infinity Castle or not. I definitely cried. Because what? Yeah, the firework, like, I think that kind of ruined fireworks for me. But it was just you have this like cinematic sound like welling up. There's like violins playing and piano, and the fireworks are going off, and she was like, she's like holding his face. Tears. Oh my God, tears. Please save me from this. And she was like, basically, in a way, she was like forgiving him. She knows what he's done. She's been with him this whole time. She leaves heaven to be with him. Like, and this like enduring love, that story, that feels so good. But at the same time, it was like him being like, this whole time, this whole reason of like why I've been such an asshole and such a jerk to everyone and just so like vengeful and angry and bitter and all these things, is just because he lost someone that he like promised he would protect, and it was out of his control. And so he said, this is my fault because I made this promise. Whereas like he didn't have to hold on to that. And he let it destroy him, literally. Oh, we have a similar top 5. I gotta put My Hero over Death Note because I haven't finished it yet. Please finish it. I think I've watched it like 3 times. I also love My Hero Academia. That's definitely top 10 for me. I do love My Hero so much. Same thing of like, what is my purpose? What is my drive? What is pushing me to do these? Or pushing me to go be a hero? Even when you're faced with like so much fear and uncertainty and am I doing the right thing and am I gonna fail? Even just being confronted with that, still, I have to be a hero. And also, I think that one dissects too, like, are you being a hero because you think that's right? Are you being a hero just because, that's what you're supposed to do? Because it was a dream? Because you feel left out? Because you're trying to save people? You're trying to gain status? Like you have, what is his name? Number 2, or I guess number 1 now. Help me. I'm thinking like Inferno, and that's not right. I know it's not. Help me. This is number 1 hero. I literally can't think of his name right now. It's not Inferno. It's on the tip of my tongue. What is it? From My Hero Academia, the number 1 hero. Or he was number 2, and now he's number 1. Basically him saying like, I'm a hero because I'm all that, because I'm the shit. Endeavor. Or he's, Inferno, Endeavor. Kind of close. I'll give myself a little bit of credit. He basically was just like, I'm doing this just because I can. Just because I'm the shit. Because I'm hot shit. Because who else is going to do it? Because I deserve it. Because his is all, he doesn't even really care. Like, he doesn't even care about the people he saves. He's not like, oh, I feel good because I saved this person's life today, or I saved the city. He gets done with it and he was like, yeah, I did it because I'm the shit. And you have little young Midoriya over here who's like, I just want to help people. Have you seen Neo Yokio? Let me hit a little Google search here real quick. I need a name to a face. Sometimes I just need to see it to know what you're talking about. No, I haven't. What? Created by the guy from the Vampire Weekend? What? Made this? God, I love people who make art, honestly. Endeavor's voice actors in dub and sub are elite too. I watch dub anime. I genuinely don't care. I really don't. A lot of the times too, like I'm doing stuff while I'm watching anime. Like I'll watch it on my phone and I'll like prop it up and like fold my laundry while I'm doing it. So like something that I can listen to, continually watch, like that's kind of, yeah, that's how I do it. But how can you focus on the anime? I can still focus. Like I can still do two things at once. Girl, I got ADHD. Like, yeah. Let's see. Did we go through? You have a great recommendation for me? Go ahead. List it off. Go ahead. Oh, I lost my thing. Yeah, I think that was all of the questions that we had today. I think there's one thing that I do want to say. I went from having like 40 to 50 questions a day in my Instagram box to like maybe 10. And it's because I switched my format and I understand that. But it's also like, that was the whole point of me doing this. Because I was like, I'm overwhelmed with questions now. And then I was like, maybe I should just do long form so that people can do this and I don't have my Instagram story be 3 hours long. Do you watch movies and TV shows or just anime? I think I go through phases, really. Where like I'll just watch anime for like months and months and months. And then I'll like switch to something else. It just depends on what has a good story. What has my attention. I get bored easily. I change my mind easily. Streets are telling me to watch Full Metal after Death Note. So you agree that that should be next. After you finish Death Note, watch Full Metal? Yeah. Watch Full Metal Alchemist. I like Brotherhood, obviously. Like I think that's like common ground we can find. But I loved Full Metal Alchemist. It's just, again, I love these stories that make me think, why are you doing this? What's your purpose? Like, where did you go wrong? And like a lot of it's like vengeance, and the themes in anime is why I love it so much, because I think that it does teach you, if it's prompting you to think and it's inviting you to maybe analyze yourself and analyze. I just saw this thing the other day. Actually, let me find it. Hold on. I gotta find it. Basically, it was saying that like kids who watch anime grow up as like more resilient adults, and they have like higher levels of like perseverance and mental fortitude and values over aggression, and they're less violent, and they teach like discipline and all these types of things. That is why these are the main themes inside of anime, and even especially in children's anime, where you're like, don't give up, persevere, and you don't have to turn to violence, and seeing people who they are, and having strength in your voice, and strength in trying, and what strength really is. These are just things that I think help people be a good person. I don't know. I also think that a lot of people that do watch anime are like more empathetic. Maybe they're kinder. Maybe they are more understanding. Like, these are people who can look at a narrative and see something deeper in the narrative. No, I don't want to say that. Stop telling me what to say. Stop it. No. You've missed me. Hey, thanks, Kev. Bro, anime is for people who are chronically online. I disagree. Just because like they're still in, you still have anime on freaking Netflix and HBO. Like it's a form of media. It's like a show that is still in the same categories as other forms of media. I think that people don't like to watch anime because either they don't want to be confronted with like emotional, processing, or a lot of people find the storytelling and the narration to be redundant because they're watching something as they're hearing what's happening. And they kind of like, they think it takes them out of the story. For me, having, someone's inner thoughts narrated outwardly can kind of help you process the story a little bit more. But also, like I said, since I watch dub, if I'm listening to the narration and I look away for a second, I'm not missing anything that's going on. They're telling me exactly what's happening. A majority of anime watching guys in their 20s drop the hard ER in video games. Not gonna lie. That's a personality thing. And also, like, you have to remember that a lot of young men specifically surround themselves with people who will validate their behavior or who will let them, like, be immature, I guess. Growth is really hard in male friendships. And this has been clinically studied, that it is more difficult for men to make higher value relationships with other men and friendships that encourage them to grow, because it is more comfortable to just, like, make those kinds of jokes and not challenge them. They find people who do not challenge their behavior, who solidify them so that they do not have to grow. And they also have just, like, very shallow friendships. The fact that, like, my male friends, they don't even know their male friends' birthdays, or, like, they don't know anything about them. They don't know. Yeah, that's. I think that's why that's not necessarily all people who look at anime or watch anime are like this, or this is the stereotype beyond people. I think it's a form of media, and a lot of people do enjoy anime that don't fit that stereotype. But that is just that's a them thing. That's a their problem. Do you agree Attack on Titan is the GOAT of animes? I think it's one of the most popularized ones, and it's for a good reason. It's so great, and it goes hard. It's tough, not gonna lie. Like, even just, like, the intro music and all the merch that they made from this, it's just it's good for a reason. And a lot of people are like, oh, I'm not gonna list that in my top, or I'm not gonna, like, say that's my favorite, or I'm not gonna whatever because it's mainstream. There's a reason that it is mainstream. People like it because it is good. We can agree on that. You don't have to gatekeep. Only Westerners think something animated is for children and it's a medium like a book or a play. Dude, whatever happened to reading comic books? Like, why is it? I don't understand. And, like, people have called it cartoons, and people are like, oh, that's for kids or whatever. The themes in this are crazy. There's been times where I've seen, like, or watched an anime and I'm like, oh, I should not be seen. That was crazy. Oh my God, like, rated R anime on God. But yeah, I don't understand why that's such a thing over here. Your smile is infectious. Keep up the great work. Thank you. No, it's for people escaping into a cartoon fantasy. That's, like, what storytelling is. Me and a realist will never get along, truly, because what do you mean? Keeping up some, like, fantasy, or you're saying, like, it's escapism to be in a story, to think about something that's not real, to be in, like, fictional land, character, whatever. This is how we have, this is not a new thing. It's just a new, form. It's a new, what is it called? Like a, not form. What's the word? Help me. I can't think today. Why my brain no work? Why I no remember words? I can't think of the word. Okay, anyway, it's a new form of media. It's not even new. It's not even new. We've had this for years and years and years, decades, okay? But, like, since the dawn of time, people have been telling verbal stories, writing fiction, reading fiction, making movies, making TV shows. Like, you can't just say, oh, this is just escapism into a fantasy. So is every other fucking movie and show and book ever written, except for nonfiction, obviously, in reality TV. That's different. But you know what I'm saying. That's just, like, an invalid argument. I'm not meaning to argue with you. I'm just saying, like, what are you even saying? You're just spewing out your, ass right now. Because so is everything. And that's, like I said, one of the cool parts of being a human is that we have imagination, is that we can think, we can play pretend, we can fantasize about things that haven't happened, or, like, we can make some sort of scenario in our head, or, like, we can read a book on a page and physically see a word and see a picture in our mind. Like, that's a cool thing. And, some people do push it to escapism, and they're like, they want to live in a fantasy, they want to live in whatever world, but these are just simply stories. And, like, that's sometimes how we grow the best, is with stories, with analogies, with metaphors, with all these things. Like, the brain is complex in understanding, in, its processing. And sometimes we have to have some visual cues. Sometimes we have to see something that didn't actually happen to like understand something, and for the brain to finally like click. Anyway, look who decided to stream. I've been streaming. What are you even talking about? Long time no see. I literally was on yesterday. Whoa, I have like 3 friends, all dudes, and I know everything about them. Been friends since kindergarten. Okay, maybe your situation is different. They're talking about the ones that like where their friends are saying the N-word. I think that if they're doing that, their friends are justifying it for them, not holding them accountable, not challenging them. That's a different subgenre of male friendships. Why are there 2 chats? Because I have Twitch and I have TikTok. Do you think Harry Potter Season 2 or Harry Potter 2 is coming out more for the game? Someone did mention it yesterday that they're making a second one. But I would like to play it. I want to play it. I want to finish the first one though. I need to finish the first one first. Equating anime, which has a core base of chronically online gamers, with fantasy as a whole, stretch. Dude, what? I don't think there's getting anywhere in talking to you right now. I'm sorry. You said it has a core base of chronically online gamers. I, again, disagree. Because I know so many people who are not some chronically online gamer who play or who watch anime. And I watched anime before I even was gaming on Twitch. Like, I think that's a stereotype. And if that's the stereotype that you want to choose, cool. The more you talk, the more I love it here. Thanks. Thank you. Unless you're from Japan. Okay. Your worldview is like this big. We cannot have a conversation. I need you to leave. The way you talk with your expressions, eyes, smile, hands, eyebrows, girl, it's contagious. Keep smiling. The world needs a lot of that. Hey, I'm just here to share. I'm just here to be me. You know that quote from Diary of a Wimpy Kid? It's like, my mom said to just be myself and people would like me. That's what I'm here to do. I don't know. Just make people's day a little bit better. Inspire people a little bit more. Make people think a little bit more. I don't know. Me creating my group of minions. Boy. My own personal friend Shelby turned gaming influencer. What are we gonna do? Oh no! The thing is, like, me, like, playing games that's not new. Like, I've played games pretty much my whole life. Like, since I got my computer when I was a kid, and I think maybe I was like 7 or 8. I might have been like 8. Yeah, I got a computer. Well, also, like, my dad was like, what is it? He like built computers and like fixed computers. Can't think of the word. Something's wrong with my brain right now, guys. Something's happening. I took my ADHD meds, I swear. But he like built computers, and like that was like what he did. Like, he has a full ass degree in computer science and all of that. And so he just like made me one when I was a kid, and that's how I grew up. So it's not new. It's just like more new to like my lives. That was kind of like a separate thing, and I was like, honestly, like, why not just combine them? Reminds me of Robin from Stranger Things. I get that all the time. I think I get Robin from Stranger Things and young Miko the most consistently. You're here to be mean? Am I being mean? That's also, okay. For my own self-reflection, and something that I have been mulling over a lot, is the way that I communicate is very direct. I'm a very direct communicator. And I've had a lot of people in my life be like, you're being mean, or that was mean. And I'm like, at first I'm always like, no, it wasn't. Like, because my intention wasn't mean. My intention wasn't, and you said you're here to be mean. No, like, no, no, I didn't say that. No, but I get that all the time where people are like, that was kind of mean. And I'll be like, no, it wasn't. And I'll like ask someone else, and they were like, no, yeah, that was mean. And I was like, what? Like, because I'm not processing it in the same way. Like, I expect other people to be a direct communicator. So when when I communicate directly, to other people who are maybe used to like passive communication or like indirect signaling, or, you know, they're reading too far into it. And I'm just like, no, I'm not being mean. I'm not mad. I'm not angry. I'm not upset. I'm not any of those things. I'm literally just saying something. Bro, why you gotta make me block you? Don't be weird. Don't say weird things. Okay. I don't think you're even mean. I don't think so either. Because I have been mean before. We all can be mean. And it's very different. And there is a very stark difference between me normally communicating and me being mean. You can really tell when I'm being mean. Anyway, you are so pretty. People just can't handle direct people. I think it's just, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I expect other people, which is why I love when I find someone who also like speaks the same way that I do, which is just like very direct. I love when I find those people because I'm like, yes, I can talk to you and I don't have to dance around your feelings. I don't have to walk on eggshells around you. I don't have to worry about like my tone. I don't have to like, you know, put on this mask of like, I'm the nicest, politest person you've ever met. I can just talk normally and I don't have to worry about it. I love that. All you've done is disagree with a stereotype. How are you mean? Yeah, that's not me being mean. That's just me saying like, we're not going to agree, dude. That smile. I got called the Cheshire Cat last year and it does stick with me a little bit. I will admit that's like the one thing that I've been called that like really sticks with me because it is kind of true. Where like when someone called me Sid the Sloth last year, or someone called me like Beans from Rango, and they were like, oh, your eyes are far apart, blah, blah, blah. No, my eyebrows are far apart, which is why I do them the way that I do. But I have a very normal pupillary distance, thank you. But I have a very big smile, and I always have. And I got like a caricature done when I was a kid. You know how like caricature artists will always pick like the biggest feature on your face and like just blow it up. Mine was always my smile. It's always been my smile. They make me have the biggest, cheesiest, biggest, fattest cheek smile ever. And I'm like, is that really what I look like? Is that really what people see first? Is just the Cheshire Cat? Anyway, I need to go get some water. Let's see. We're going to keep going for a little bit, but I'm going to take just like a tiny little break and grab some water and blow my nose, and then we shall be back. Okay? Hold on. Ugh. Yeah, that hurt my head. Okay. Alrighty. Sorry about that. Flex the tries. I actually did triceps in the gym today. You can't see them. Oh, I was looking so fucking jacked. I was looking so jacked. There's this one spot. There's cable machines all throughout my gym, but there's like 3 of them, and they have cables all around them. And there's one spot that's like has a mirror in front of it, behind it, and then to the side of it, it's kind of this like triangle trifecta thing where I can see it from all angles. Oh. Bro, okay. Did she really hit us with the elevator music? You have something. Should I put baby stim videos of like the dancing pineapple and the watermelon? Should I put Subway Surfers? The game ads? I got a new question. Fuck. It says, you are my influencer crush. Do you have an influencer crush? Do you have an influencer crush? Yeah. Yeah. I hate it because it's like, do I also have parasocial relationships with like my favorite creators, right? Like I have my favorite streamers, I have my favorite podcasters, I have my favorite YouTubers. What's the word? I have my favorite YouTubers. I have my favorite like Instagram people. I get parasocial sometimes. Do I have a influencer crush? For sure. Does he know? Yeah. Have we talked about it? Mm-hmm. But here's the thing: is like it's not even like the weird part is it's not some influencer crush that I've never spoken to. This is someone that I like speak to on a constant basis. And I'm like, oh my god, it like eats me alive. I'll be like doing random shit. I start thinking, I'm like, It's embarrassing a little bit. Truth telling. Hey, I'm telling my truth. I'm speaking my truth. The God honest truth. How can you hear through your hair? Because it's not soundproof. Hair isn't soundproof. That's why. No, cooked. Yeah, cooked. But it's also like is it even real life? Like you have this, to me, a crush is just a lack of information. When you have a crush on someone, you're like, you don't know. You can see what they look like and how they present themselves, and like it fits into some like idea of who they are. And that's like how you have a crush on someone. Is you're just like curious and attracted. I think that's just all that it is. I need to move the writing over on TikTok. It's particularly out of frame. What writing? What? There's writing? You can't rationalize yourself out of a crush. You have to get the ick. And that happens to me all too often. Unfortunately, I get icked out a lot. I get a lot of, like even just seeing like a simple picture of someone in like bad lighting, I'm like, you know, it'll kill the entire thing. It'll just ruin the fantasy. It'll be like, ugh. And I get the ick very easily, and I wish I didn't. I feel like the ick is definitely like ruined things for me before. But I also think it's just like it's telling you something. I don't know. Your hair is darker. You look so good. Thank you. I think it's lighter, actually. Hello, saw you on TikTok. Hey, I'm so glad you're in the Twitch. What's up? Amazing rocker. I cannot tell you, one, how much, like, my mouth gets so dry when I take my Adderall, and two, how much I sweat when I take my Adderall. What's one body part you wish you had more of? Hair? I wish my hair was longer. I wish it was way longer. It used to be so long, and I cut it off, and I've been growing it back out ever since, and I regret cutting my hair. Maybe, like, I would say longer legs, but, like, I already have really long legs. Like, proportionally, my legs are, like, most of my body. But I would like to be taller, which is weird. I already am tall as a woman, but I'm in an awkward tall stage where I'm considered tall by most, but not all. Do you hear the dogs? That's so sad. I think yawning is such an ick. Oh. I don't think so. I think it's like a biological response. I experienced the ick for the first time, and it only time when I saw a pretty girl trip and stumble. What? And it's because it like grounds it. You see them pretty and you're like, oh, they're perfect. And then you see them like do something imperfect and you're like, oh, the fantasy is shattered in my mind. That was the first time you've ever gotten the ick. I love the girls who make the videos that are like, imagine him doing this. If you want to get the ick, imagine him doing this. And it does work. It does work. And it's you can't let yourself go there. Icks can't change your opinion on someone you're crushing on for real. And I agree. I think that there are like, that's how I know I genuinely like someone is when like I can't get the ick. Like, even if I see them do something, like, super embarrassing, or, like, even if I see, like, whatever, and I, like, don't get icked out, and I'm still just, like, just googly-eyed at them, that's how I know I like them. Like, that's how, is people who don't give me the ick. But it's not, they're not immune to it. Like, there was someone that I used to, like, I think last year, at some point, I think we met last spring, and then I saw him last weekend, and I was, like, I don't even remember what I saw him doing, but I was like, wait, what? I thought he was immune forever. I thought I was never going to see, like, you know, you're not immune forever, I guess. But I've never. What? What if they got sick all over you? Like threw up on me? I don't know. I've definitely like been with someone that I liked and they like were throwing up and I was with them and that didn't give me the ick. So like I liked them. Like I said, genuinely, if I genuinely like someone, then I like they're ickless to me. They're like, I don't know what it is. We should figure this out. Where does the ick come from? What is this? How tall are you in centimeters? Oh, I don't know. Actually, hold on. Let me just okay. 172.72 centimeters. Okay. I get the ick when people sneeze more than 3 times. Like, get it together, please. That's not the ick. That's just you're annoyed. The ick is like when you look at someone and you're like, ooh, like it literally is like a, oh, like physical reaction. You know? You're so serving so hard. Slick. Oh, hey, look, it's my future ex-wife. Chill. Chill. My family has been the one to be like, why haven't you gotten married? Like my brother, my sister, my mom, my dad, all of them have been like, dude, are you ever going to get married? Like, are you ever? And I was like, hey, statistically speaking, I just surpassed my first divorce. Okay. Fuck you. But also like they all have been divorced several times. And so I'm like, for why? Why should I listen to you? What do you think the song Yesterday I Woke Up Sucking a Lemon mean? What? Like something sour? How tall are you in mozzarella sticks? Wait! How? Wait. 23 mozzarella sticks tall. Yeah. Oh, ickless. I'm finna start using that as a compliment. Girl, you're ickless. Yeah. And also I'm gonna trademark that. So you if you say it, you have to pay me. You said I'm an engineer, so this is vital information. This is research. This is market research. For you to figure out how many mozzarella sticks tall I am. Yeah, clearly this is really needed for your job. How old is your kid? He's 7. He's gonna be 8. He's 7.5. Close to 8. Oh my God. I can't believe that. I can't. And I have been thinking about that a lot because my brother just had a baby. Like a few weeks ago. Not he just had a baby, but like his wife just had a baby. And seeing my niece and seeing her in this like baby phase and all this stuff, and it feels familiar, and I'm like, oh my God, like I know I've been through that, but I'm like, wow, that was much longer ago than I like realized. That like my son has not been a baby in a while. Like he not baby, he boy. If you aren't trying to get married, what are your other goals in life? Obviously, I'm working towards like building a career and making it as a content creator and a streamer and a YouTuber and whatnot. But my goal honestly is just to like live life to the fullest, to like fill my days with, you know, good memories. And I don't think that like marriage should be a goal. You know, I think people get married for the wrong reasons a lot of the time, whether it's for financial gain, whether it's for, you know, pressure, societal pressure, whether people think that that's what they need to do. A lot of people get married so young too. I just met someone the other day who was like getting married and they're like 21 and I'm like, what? I could not imagine getting married at 21. Was I proposed to at 21? Yes. Did I say yes? No. And because I could not imagine that. I was like, you know what? How I feel right now and what this is right now, like as much as it's a dream to like build a life together, I think that people just want to be witnessed so bad. And I think that marriage should be between people who like can actually build something together, can actually like have routines together and shared goals and shared values, and they share their life and they witness each other and, you know, have this romantic spark and whatnot, instead of people being like, oh, well, I know people who have just gotten married just because they're like, oh, well, we've been dating for so long, I might as well. And it's like, but are you happy? This is your life. Like, you're committing to like building your life with someone. What if you don't want that life? That's just, I don't know. I think that people do it for the wrong reasons a lot of the time. Also, have you guys seen, I don't know his name, I need to look it up, but there is a divorce attorney that makes a lot of content about marriage because of like what he's seen. And like he makes a lot of observations about like love and the difference between like love that lasts and love that doesn't last, and you know, people who get married for certain reasons and why it ends or why it stays, and all of these things. Like he breaks it down because he's seen it, he's watched it. And that's just not, I don't know. I don't think it should be like my main goal in life, because I am an autonomous, independent person. And I think also people get into relationships because they don't have a strong sense of self, and they get married because they think that like they can just go along with whatever their husband or their wife is doing. And like it makes me sick to see women who get married just because they don't know what they're doing, just because like, you know, they feel a little bit lost, or they kind of feel like they don't know, or it kills me, because then their whole personality and who they are is what their husband is doing, what their husband thinks is funny. They're just literally a NPC side character in their husband's life, and they're happy with that. And that makes me sick, because I definitely have my own personality. I have my own interests. I have my own passions. I have my own goals and all of that stuff. So obviously I need a partner to have their own, right? Even if I was with someone who took on mine, if they didn't know what they were doing in life and they just wanted to absolve into my life, I would feel suffocated. Like it's a partnership, not a codependent bond where you're just relying on this other person for your self-esteem and your sense of self. And that is why people get married. That's a genuine reason, is because they're like, oh, well, you know, I just want to stay in a safe, comfortable bubble and do what I want to do. And this is maybe okay. And I can maybe settle for this. The thought of that just crushes me. Cause it's just, I hate to see people just like give up on themselves and use a relationship to do so. Please, I'm begging you, girls, stand up, please, please, please. And you see these women who are married for like 20 years and they suddenly get divorced and they're like, actually, I think I like this. Thank you. Thank you, girl. But you didn't have to get married for 20 years to figure that out, dude. You could have just like spent some time alone and figured that out. Now let me get the Ickless Pass like a coupon. Only you and I can use it for free. I can't control who gives me the ick and who doesn't. But it is unfortunate for the people who do give into ick. It is very unfortunate. Got 2 nephews and waiting for one of my siblings to have another kid to grow my minion army. I love my nieces and nephews. I do. I love my own son. I love having like just that kind of family and to see kids and see the world through a different perspective and in a different way. And they're such individuals too. And it just feels like an opportunity to just like really know someone and spend a really awesome time. Like my son, low key, like I'm his parent, so he's kind of forced to be around me, but we get to go do fun things. And that feels awesome. And I feel like so just like bonded with him, you know? You're preaching, it was a trick question and you answered correctly. That's what I'm saying. First of all, don't try and trick me. Second of all, I've thought this way for a very long time, like from a young age. I think when I was a kid, I was like, I'm never gonna get married, whatever. And I think that like I can see myself getting married one day, if it's the right person, but I just am not in a rush to get there. I'm not in like I have to do this, I'm running out of time. Like, especially people now who use my age as justification. Like my family who uses my age. Dude, you're almost 28. Like, what are you doing? Living. I'm living my life. Like, and it's I don't envy them for being married. And I don't see it as something that I'm losing out on, because, you know, love exists kind of everywhere. And yeah. How often do severely autistic people jerk it? You're asking me. I'm not severely autistic. I can't tell you. You gotta ask a severely autistic person. Don't say it. Don't say it. No, I'm not, I swear. Can one come back from the ick? I don't think there's a single person that I've gotten the ick for that like I could see the same way after that. Actually, maybe. I'm trying to think. Hold on. Some people get married in a gold rush. Some people get married because they're scared. Some people get married. The reasons. You know what? Let's Google it. Let's look this up right now. Why do people get married? My name is Bond. Codependent Bond. I think I lean more towards independence in a relationship. I think that's, you know, I tend to like try to cling more to the things in my life to keep me from like getting enveloped in it. You know, I don't want to feel like I'm losing myself. I don't want to feel like I'm losing my autonomy. And it has been a problem in the past where like I've had partners that have said like, I don't feel like you're making time for me, or like they'll say like, I would just like your attention a little bit more. And I realize like, you know, there are times where I lean a little bit too heavily into that, where they don't feel heard or they don't feel chosen. And that's my kind of thing, but it's just what's the opposite of, codependence? Independence. Yeah. Man, you were a sight for sore eyes. I uninstalled TikTok for a while, so I'm glad you're here. Hey, I'm here. I think married people even envy unmarried ones and try to trick and pressure them into marriage. I also don't see marriage as like such a terrible thing, because I have seen successful marriages. I have friends who are in like beautiful marriages, and I am just like, that is what I expect. That is what I like want to uphold, when you have two people not only that love each other, but like they have built something that just works, where they're two people, but they're still choosing to like share that time and share their, you know, their, I don't know, they just blend so well and it works so well. And there isn't like all this resentment, and there isn't all this like arguing or fighting. Like I can't ever imagine, if I do imagine myself being married, I can't ever imagine myself like getting in constant arguments or like hating my partner the way that people are like, oh, ball and chain, you know what I'm saying? The people who like don't like their partners, I'm like, that's on you. And also, why are you staying? Why? I think also people just like, I don't know, put so much pressure on like, oh, I made this promise and that makes me a bad person if I break this promise. I don't know. Are you? You're not the same person that you were when you made that promise. I don't know. I have so many different opinions about it. And so it's just, I don't think I have a solid conclusion on marriage yet, but I do know there are bad marriages, there are good marriages. Obviously, we all want a good marriage, but that also takes someone who's like willing to like grow with you, because you grow as a person in your marriage. The one that I'm thinking of right now, the marriage I'm thinking of right now is like one of my friends and her husband, and they have grown so much together. They support each other like consistently through both of like their individual goals, and they like work well together. They do combine things together. Like all of these, when I think of marriage, I think about that. I'm like, that is someone, and she, you know, found someone who was willing to grow with her and do those things with her. And he found someone who was willing to grow with him and like challenge him. And like, those are great things. Not everybody wants to get married and grow. A lot of people want to get married and then stay the same forever. And then in like 30 or 40 years, they just like fall apart as people. I don't want that. What's up, Padme? Me? No. Me. What are you doing on live today? We're just chit-chatting. We're just answering questions and yapping, basically. Then no one should ever make till death do us part an oath, if that's the case. I think what I was talking about, I have to find this creator. Actually, I have Google open right now. Let's hold on. 5 good reasons. Yeah, let's go into psychology today, actually. We're going to look at this article. It says 5 good reasons to marry and 5 good reasons not to marry. First, it says why even marry? 1, love. 2, companionship and security. 3, children. 4, social norms. 5, religion. Religion is a huge one. My sister was forced to get married because she got pregnant out of wedlock, and the church was like, her husband worked at the church, and they were like, we will fire him if you guys don't get married. What a nightmare! I had a child out of wedlock. My son's dad proposed to me again. And I said, no. That's not going to be the reason that I get married. No. Why not marry? Personal freedom, compatibility, relationship problems, societal expectations, and financial considerations. I don't know. There is definitely a pros and cons list, but the creator that I'm talking about, he's like a divorce attorney. I'm just going to put in podcast. Yes, this guy. What is his name? Can I get a name? James Sexton. Okay. And he talks about how marriage in general was created for property exchange. When marriage was created a long time, I mean, there's, I guess, marriage in the Bible, but like, that's more like a union. They talk about union, whatever. But marriage was upheld a long time ago as a property thing. And like, marriage used to be so different where you would have to like basically sell off your daughters to get married. And then you get like, there's dowries. You're paying someone else to marry your daughter. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy. Because you want them to have a life. And this was a time where like women couldn't do anything for themselves. Maybe be a spinster, maybe make some clothes, maybe be a fashion icon. But this was also a time where the women didn't want to do things for themselves. And then modern feminism came in, and we have like books like Little Women that talk about this, and Jane Austen wrote all about this, and whatever. My point is, he even said like this was because of marriage, and that's why you have these certain vows, was because this was because of property and to like ownership, instead of like people did not used to get married because of love. That's a kind of a newer thing. They used to do it because of social advancement, property exchange, and just because people needed someone to marry, I guess. I don't know. And you still have that today, like child brides and like people arranged marriages and things like that. Oh my God, can you imagine? Oh, that's like, here's your new roommate for the rest of your life. Go make a baby. And you're 14. Literally my worst nightmare. I'm so lucky that I did not have to go through that. But the people that are born in that it's so normal for their culture that it's like, it's not, they don't see it as like a terrible thing. Does it really? Okay. Where the couple would walk down the rows of chopped up animals and basically vow that if they broke their covenant to each other to let them end up like those animals. Ugh. Marriage is a biblical concept. Everything else is just for getting. I still think like, yes, I think marriage and religion very intrinsically tied. But it's still upheld today because I do think that it is a beautiful concept to like choose someone to say like, I choose to witness you, for life and not, anyone else. And I know that, you have this part of my life and I have this part of your life. I still think that it's a beautiful concept. But like, I know so many people who have been together for like 10, 20 years and they're not married. And like, there are states that do common law marriage where like, if you're dating for over 10 years, you're like basically common law married. But I don't know. There's some people that are like, we don't need a piece of paper to choose this, to like make this work. We don't need a wedding or something to signify this to work. And sometimes I think that I've seen, from this specific divorce attorney, he was like, the pressure of the pressure of marriage and the pressure of the commitment that you make and the pressure of the, like forever and I can't change my mind, I swear to God, like that kind of thing. That pressure is what causes instability because, one, it's a fallback of like, oh, well, it forces people to stay in things that aren't good for them or aren't right because they made this promise and they can't go back on it. And they think that it's like a judgment of their character to change their mind. But also that people don't think that they have an out, or people that don't, how did he say it? Hold on. And there's so many, I just see there's like so many videos of it too, or he's been on so many podcasts. I'm trying to think of how he worded it, but he was basically like, people choose not to speak up as much, or people choose to, you know, avoid conflict more. And then things build because they're not communicating, because they have this, oh, well, we're married, so we don't need to worry about losing it, because it's like a safety thing. They're like, oh, it's always here. It's always keeping me safe because we made this promise, so we don't have to work on it, you know? And he was saying that people get super complicit in marriage, and people get super lazy in marriage, and people, you know, when it's still like an active growing, like it's its own entity that you kind of have to feed. It's like a fire, and you have to keep putting wood on the fire or else it will go out. And yeah, like this says, if you're not getting married in your church before God, then just don't get married. I think that you can still like make certain commitments to people, and you can still like choose someone without having to get married. So many people do that. I think that's more common now than it has been in the last like 10 years. The country, Colombia, has just passed a bill raising the marriage age to 18, I believe. Crazy. Can you imagine getting married to the person that you dated when you were 18? I need you to put me down. I need to be euthanized. Loyalty no longer exists, so marriage becomes less and less of a viable option in this modern age. I want to challenge your thought there, Quantum, just a second, because the way that you're saying that loyalty no longer exists is only because of your perspective of lived experience. And because you have solidified that belief, you're no longer going to see that it does. You're no longer going to see any perspective. When you are closed-minded like that and make a statement that's so black and white like that, you are incapable of getting feedback bias to support any other decision, to support any other narrative, unless you choose to say, like, there is loyalty out there, there is good people out there. Then you will see that confirmation bias back. But your brain is trained to scan only what you believe to be true. And so if you believe this to be true, you will constantly be dissatisfied, and you will constantly see disloyal people, and you will constantly test people on their loyalty, which can in turn actually cause them to be disloyal. So I'm not saying it's your fault, but I am saying change your thought process there a little bit, because I think that's like inaccurate. I know that loyalty exists because I am a loyal person. Do you know what I'm saying? That's all you need. Loyalty is still out there, gang. Listen to them. If you won't listen to me, listen to them. Girl, something about this camera or the lighting or the angle, you're fucking glowing. Thank you. I had it like different earlier. I had this light on, and then I had this one. Let's see. Or is it just like a little bit different? Oh, it's getting dark. Just realized that. Hey, just realized it's fucking dark. But, are you Christian or religious? I'm not religious at all. And I don't want to get into that right now. We've already done a Truth Telling Tuesday about that, and it just like, it didn't end well. She's got a point. Loyalty is just much more rare. I also disagree. If I am loyal and I know loyal people, I don't think it's as rare as you think, you know? And it can happen, especially if you have experienced disloyalty, if you've experienced betrayal, if you've experienced this repeated times. One, there's a pattern there that you're choosing to stay in. Two, it can shape you and shape your worldview to believe that to be true. And like I said, confirmation bias, like your brain is trained to scan for that truth, to solidify that. And the only way you can change that is to change the way you think. And you are in control of what you think, what you say, what you believe. Because the more that you start to say, like, there are loyal people in the world, there are, like, the more you tell your fear and your doubt and your anxiety and the parts of your brain that lie to you to fuck off, the more you will see it is around you. Are you from America or UK? Can you tell? I'm from America. She intelligent. Damn. I know loyal people. I've seen it. I just believe it's less commonplace than they say 30 years ago. I also disagree. You didn't live 30 years ago, did you? Were you dating 30 years ago? Were you in that dating pool? Wait, no. loyalty and disloyalty have been a common thing throughout time. It's not like it's increased more, it's decreased more. This has still happened. People have had affairs since the dawn of time. Are you any good at acting? I would like to say so. I did like acting in musical and stuff like that in high school. I want to get more into it. I want to get more into voice acting specifically. Please cast me in anime. But yeah, what's the topic of the day? I am letting other people pick basically like from comments, and then I have my Instagram question box up right now as well. I think married people envy. Oh, we already went through that one. But my local McDonald's has a loyalty program. See, people are loyal. Companies are loyal. The things we tell our own mind affect us so much. Not to beat a dead horse, not to sound redundant, not to go over this over and over and over, but this is probably going to be like the main theme of what I talk about for all time. But you have so much more power over your life and your thoughts and your beliefs and what you see and what happens to you and your perspective and your reality than you give yourself credit for. And if you are not taking active action to actually choose something different or choose what you actually want, then you are just letting it control you and letting it run you. And I feel sorry for you. But belief systems is like my biggest thing because I've seen it happen. And because I watched it in my own life and because I've experienced it, obviously I want to share that with other people because I don't want people to suffer the way that I did in my life, or I don't want them to stay stagnant in themselves. And I want other people, I want to just build an army of emotionally intelligent, mature, wise, brave people who have really good, strong belief systems and self-esteem and who can just do it. You have the look of an actress? Stop. Do you mean it? Okay. I'll believe you. Have you ever felt sad? For sure. Yeah, but I don't like sit in sadness. I'm not a wallower, you know, where I know that emotions are just fleeting and I can feel sadness or any emotion. You know, I can feel it in my body. I can notice how it feels and then I can let that go. And I kind of just let it move through me instead of like holding on to it or ignoring it. Like ignoring sadness, worst mistake of my life. I used to. Like I said, I was not always this way. I was not always emotionally intelligent. I didn't even know how to name my emotions. I didn't even know how to like recognize them or spot them or understand what they were. And I just didn't want to feel anything. And I used to just like push it away. If I felt sad, oh my God, I went like probably years without crying in my life. And all it did was make it so much harder for me in the long run because they have to be felt. They have to be felt. And you know what happens if you don't feel emotions? Do you know? Autoimmune disorders. It's literally clinically studied that if you like choose not to feel emotion, you suppress them and you just like ignore them, your body will eat itself with emotion. But yes, for sure. I've definitely felt sad. And it's just something that's, you know, it doesn't run me and I don't like sit in it. And I understand it's just like a part of being human and my body just needs a way to like release whatever's going on in there. I do think that society has changed the ideas of relationships. We compare everything to everything we see on social media, and when we do that, it'll only become second best. So maybe it feels like unloyalty is a little more relevant in today's age. I don't think that there's such a strong correlation there. I know that there have been studies on people who experience or people who do cheat and people who do like go out of their relationship and whatnot. And a lot of that is personal. Like when my friends get cheated on, if I've ever had a friend that's gotten cheated on, I'm like, that has nothing to do with you. It's not that you didn't do it enough. It's not that you weren't doing it. It's literally that person has low self-control. That person has low self-esteem. That person has like they have an issue with understanding if you guys are agreed to be in a monogamous relationship, then like that is their personal issue. And it comes from their weakness and not your weakness. You're not weak for being cheated on. Like you chose someone who is weak, and it does shatter this illusion of like who you thought they were. And you expect them to be a better person. And then when they do, you're just like, oh my God, like that you feel this ultimate betrayal, you know? But I don't think that it's just like new and here and more relevant because of the option of choice, because we've all experienced the whole like grass is greener kind of phenomena of, well, I have options and maybe one of these options is better, but like acting on that is completely different. And that's specific to the person and how many issues they have. But also, like, to an extent, I do agree with you. Because you have this illusion of choice. But we all understand, all of us understand that that is an illusion. Like, that you have options, but how do you know that that person who they might have, 50%, or maybe, I don't know what's the analogy here? Let's say you're in a relationship and you see someone who, your partner that you have has like 90% of like everything you want in a partner. They check off all your boxes, almost all your boxes. There's just that 10% that they're missing, right? And then you meet another person who has that 10% and you're like, I want this. This is what I've been missing. This 10%. And then you choose that person over your partner because you have this illusion that you're missing something there, or that it's, that's better, and you have this grass is greener kind of whatever. And then you're with that person, now you only have 10% of the things that you want and you're missing 90%. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, yes. I think we all understand that this like grass is greener kind of paradox happens. And I can admit that I fall into that trap. There has been times where I've just been like, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe there's more, maybe there's whatever. And I start to like, oh, hold on, I got to do my puzzle. I have done that in relationships before. I've ended relationships like that before because I was like, maybe I'm missing out on something. Maybe there's something better, whatever. And like, it's basically just my brain trying to tell me like that I'm feeling safe and I need a reason to like find something else. It usually only always happens when I'm like feeling super regulated, that I'm like, well, maybe this isn't it, and that like doubt comes in. And then I made it a point to like kind of challenge that after that point. When I like realized that, I think this was like a few years ago. And I was like, okay, I'm going to challenge that belief next time I do have it. Next time I'm like, maybe this isn't right. Maybe this isn't like what I want. Like when I start to have those like certain doubts of like, oh, well, I have endless options. Like I start to look at it for what it is. And then I'm like, okay, actually, I do want this and I do want to stay in this. And that's like how it has kind of gone for me the last like couple relationships. It's like, I have a point of doubt and then I'm like, okay, I need a chill. You tried to switch emotions off. Unfortunately, and I have talked about this before, is like, I can't speak for everyone. I can't speak in a relatable way to everyone because I have a very certain attachment style that not everybody does. And I'm working on it. This is not me saying like, oh, I know I have this and I've accepted it. I have done massive amounts of work on this attachment style. Like I have basically like practiced like to act more secure than to do this. But since I started dating when I was like 18, probably, I have an avoidant attachment style. And it gets, don't hate me, please. It gets a really bad rep. Sometimes I'll see videos of people who are talking about avoidance and they're like, fuck these people, they're evil and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, I'm not, I swear. Like, but I understand how it comes off like that and how it has affected my relationships and how it's made my partners feel bad or like that kind of thing. And I can't, like I said, I can't speak for everyone, but there has been points where my body and my brain and my heart not really in alignment sometimes. And there's been times that I look back and I'm like, I feel so terrible for hurting people just because of my own fear, just because I was like, felt anxious because my body obviously has this like physiological response to attachment, to bonding, to closeness, to intimacy that, not everybody has, and secure people don't have. My instinct, it's kind of like when your body goes into fight or flight, mine's flight. Like, and I have friends who have a completely opposite attachment style where they have an anxious attachment style, and they'll talk to me about relationships. And I'm like, I hear you and I hear what you're going through and I feel for you. And I know that you'll figure this out, but I cannot give you advice because I don't process things the same way that you do. And their relationship is like fight. They are the fight and I am the flight, and we are opposites when it comes to that. And it's something that I've gotten so much better on. Actually, I will say, like, I am proud of myself for like how I showed up in my last relationship, probably because it it was not like that before, in ways that I had moments of having to be like, okay, I just need to process this. I don't need to like make any decisions. I don't need to like freak out or run away or self-sabotage or all these things. I had moments where I was like, I'm feeling scared. And then I was like, but my fear does not run me. And like that's the most that I can do to like grow and be a better partner and like learn how to be a more secure, stable person. And so when you say like you try to switch emotions off, that's literally what used to happen to me. Like I used to, you know, and I'm not saying like I've had a million relationships. I think I've had like 4. But in my earlier relationships, I used to like literally go cold and like switch my emotions off like completely and just be like, you know, I was like, I couldn't show affection. It was hard for me to be close. It was hard for me to like feel intimacy. Like it literally like made me feel like I was going to die, like crawl out of my skin. It was so uncomfortable for me because obviously like attachment styles are formed through early childhood. Like the first like 5 years of your life sets the precedence of your attachment styles, but it's not permanent. You can change it. And like, that's why I've been through therapy. I've been through lots of self-reflection. I've been through lots of analysis and things like that, and to make active effort to change this because I want to be a secure person. Why would I choose to be an insecure person? You know? Anyway, my earlier relationships, I was a supervillain. I think I was evil. And that's the stereotype that these avoidant people get is they're so evil and they don't care and blah, blah, blah. In a way, it's never, I'm doing this intentionally to hurt someone. It's never malicious. It's always I feel uncomfortable. I feel scared. I feel anxious. I'm not sure what to do. I feel uncertain. I feel doubt. I have to get out of how uncomfortable this feels right now. And then like making these decisions and then like thinking about it later. Like I had this one ex who was so kind to me. Like literally, like I think my second boyfriend, so kind to me. So nice. And I looked back months later and I was like, I cannot believe like I hurt someone like that. I cannot believe I like, because I was being a pussy essentially. And the fact that people can't tell this is AI is crazy. Hey, what the hell? What's wrong with you? Feeling like you have options just creates rosters. Yeah, maybe. I think like people who are just like emotionally detached create rosters. People who like are emotionally unavailable have rosters. But also I feel like in a way, like I've gotten to that point too. Like, yes, I've had boyfriends and stuff. I have an avoidant attachment style. It's difficult for an avoidant to get into a relationship. Do you know how difficult it is to get me to even want to be in a relationship? Very difficult. My friends have been like, dude, I don't know if I'm ever going to see this. Like, it is difficult. Like, and so there has been times where I wouldn't say I had a roster. I would say like I was seeing a couple people, you know, feeling out options or whatever, but I like could not feel anything. I just like intimacy, like I said, hard, difficult. Vulnerability, hard, difficult. But like I chose to kind of work past that. And I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, why? What's the point of like exploring all this stuff that I don't even know what I do need and what I do want and that kind of thing. So that's a lot of growth on my part in the last like 5 or 6 years for sure. But my wife is screaming, oh my Lord. Oh my Lord. Crazy question, but how do you compliment a girl without being so forward? Why not be forward? Why not just be like, hey, I think you're beautiful. Why not? Oh, I agree. I'm just talking expectations. Taking action is very different. That is true. I think that there are people that have gotten to the point where they realize that they might be the problem, but they don't take action on that, you know? Exactly. We love comfort and sometimes plays tricks on us, what we feel and what we see. Yeah, and I think that that's like what it was at the time that I've like pulled away or been that way. It was just my mind like playing tricks on me. It was just my mind like spiraling or saying like, what if, or, you know, looking for flaws. I think that was like the worst part is I think I felt the most guilty for tearing someone else down or like looking for certain flaws in them and like picking them apart, because in my mind, I thought that I was being helpful, and in it like after time and space and like talking to these people again, they were like, no, that was like hurtful. I felt like I wasn't enough. I felt like I wasn't good enough. And I was like, I never meant to make you feel that way. And it was all just my coping mechanism at the time to like keep myself safe and keep myself from getting too close and losing my independence and losing my autonomy and feeling enveloped and feeling like, you know, when you feel like there were certain points, I don't know, if you've been in a relationship where you feel like, oh my God, like, what does this say about me? Or what does this look like, you know, on the outside? Like, I think that also was like a huge motivator when I was young. And I was like, I don't want to look like I'm failing, or I don't want to look like, you know, this is all I have, because I put so much pressure, or I put so much emphasis on my independence. It's an issue and I'm working on it. Okay. How did oh, you were talking about, yeah, like running away and shutting off feelings and whatnot. What ifs are the absolute worst. I've been trying to live in the moment, not worry and think so much. That was like a huge thing for me. I think, I used to live in what ifs. It would make me spiral, especially like, I think it got the worst when I was a teenager, where I was just like, I had the most pessimistic worldview ever as a kid and as a teenager. Like, and we all kind of do, we're like a little angsty, whatever, but like I let what ifs consume me, and it kept me from appreciating the present moment. No, and I'm not just talking about relationships anymore, like all in my life, in general, the what ifs will like kill my desire to even try. And I hate that. I don't think I experience that anymore, because when I have what ifs, I'm able to like kind of process it in the moment and like think about it in the moment and like challenge those what ifs a lot of the time and like redirect them. And that has led me to being a lot more like optimistic, positive person. But being in that mentality is so difficult when you're stuck in the what if, because it stems from security, like insecurity and like fear of uncertainty. And I know exactly the moments that I was like feeling those things and where they came from and what the ideas were. And like I can see it like a map in front of me, where my decisions came from a what if, that came from some belief, that came from some fear, that came from me, like something that I experienced like forever ago. And I was like, oh, okay. And you can really like map people like that. So you've only seen a total of 4 people in the form of relationship, in the form of like being my like boyfriend. Yes. If we telling the truth, no, what? Oh, no, what? No, what? Oh my God. I don't even want to think about that. Oh my God. Oh, I've had that thought before. I've had that thought before, and it's really scary. And the fact that you just confirmed it to me and said you gooned to my videos, get away, go away. Like, oh, you're so blocked. Okay, what is your favorite insect? Is it lame if I just say a butterfly? Because I just love them so much. They are so cool. The transformation that can happen inside a chrysalis is crazy. Can you imagine forming a little ball, climbing in that little ball, your insides melt to goo, and then it turns into something else when you already were something else? What? Not lame at all. No, butterflies are so cool. Help me. I want to crawl out of my skin. Okay. Exactly why I shake my head. Dude, it's so weird. You're so blocked. Okay, what's your favorite insect? Yeah, so moving on. I don't even want to think about that. It just feels like so violating, you know? For you to have something like, especially like when you're in terms of dorking, when you're doing it with someone else, that's a very like sacred thing. That's a very like intimate, close, vulnerable, sacred thing to have those thoughts, to have that fantasy, to have, you know, for someone to do it without you, like without your permission, without that being shared, without that being mutual, that is so violating. That is so, and objectifying. It's gross. Because sorry, am I overreacting or am I underreacting? Or am I reacting exactly how I should? I'm underreacting. There has been times, and this isn't new, especially on Truth Telling Tuesday, when this was on my Instagram story, I would go in on people. I would literally like tear people apart for talking like that. Because who the fuck do you think you are talking like that? Like what do you get out of that other than making someone uncomfortable? And like, do you live in a shame spiral? Is that what you love? You love when people get grossed out and scared of you and uncomfortable by you because that gives you some sort of power? Or do you feel so powerless that you have to like go out of your way to do, so I'm going off. It's just me psychoanalyzing people. Appropriately reacting. I don't like that. I am still a person. I have my own thoughts, my own life, my own whatever. Like it feels so objectifying. It feels so demoralizing. It feels like I'm just a means to an end through some weird it just gives me, that's the ultimate ick. Gross. How does it feel being a brunette white beauty queen? Do I look brunette in this light? Do I? Say yes. I want to dye my hair blonde again so bad, and I've been thinking about this for the last couple months, and I want to get back to it. And I need like, I don't know, 50 people to send me like $5 so that I can pay for the appointment to do it. But I miss it. I miss it so much. See, that was a reaction. Let's therapize for a second. Appropriate reaction, but it was a reaction. And now I'm like left with the feeling, which is just like discomfort and not knowing, not being able to control what other people are doing with the image of me. That like makes me very uncomfortable because they could like imagine me doing whatever. And it's just out of character. Like I don't like it. I don't like it now. Tip, donate. Yeah, okay, whatever. Anyway. I've never seen a real life ick out. No? I feel like it does happen to me often. Hype incoming. Let's go! Thanks for the sub! Oh my gosh, actually, thank you. I've gotten nicked out easily just by like, I used to Snapchat, no more, because it ruined everything for me. And like, I would just get like a snap from someone and like never respond. I'd be like, ugh. It just, I don't know. But I think that's also like, I have that, you know, a little bit of difficulty, like being vulnerable, seeing people in like vulnerable states. What is your wingspan, Brochacho? Listen, I'm insecure about my wingspan and I can admit it because my wingspan is actually shorter than my like height. You know how your wingspan is supposed to be the same like height as like how you are from head to toe, like tall, the length of your body. Mine is like 2 inches shorter. I have like, either I have short arms or I have long legs, but I'm disproportionate and I don't like it. Gotta support streamers in the 307. Let's go. Wait, are you in the 307? Did we talk about this? Remind me. That's so kind of you. I don't know what to say. Literally, thank you. On God. You have short arms, probably. Probably. But if I had longer arms, I feel like I would look like a gorilla. You know, no, not a gorilla. What are the monkeys that have like longer arms than they do like legs? I don't think it's supposed to be the same. No, it is supposed to be the same. That your height is supposed to be the same as your wingspan. My arms are 5 inches longer than my height. See? You can scratch your calves without having to bend over. Sorry. I'm sorry. Maybe tee in the 307. But where? But where? Could you tell me where? I think the craziest thing was the other day I was out in Colorado and got recognized, not even in a state that I live in, not even in a city that I live in a place that I haven't been in for a really long time, getting recognized by like so many people. I was like, what? What? Even like going down to Denver and getting recognized is crazy. Going to the mall and getting what? It's all according to your genetics, but in theory, your wingspan is supposed to be close. Okay, hold on. Randomly one day, did you just say, let me test this theory if my height is the same? I think someone asked me about it. They were like, do this and like stand on the wall and like do the height thing and then like spread it for your arms, you know? I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be the same as your height. I always recognize because I stalk. You're stalking me? Your geographic influencer bubble is growing. That's what I think is crazy. Yeah. Oh my God. My very good friend Taylor sent me this text one time and he was like, I am boarding my flight right now, I'm about to leave, and the person in front of him on the airplane was going through my profile on TikTok. What? And he's in like Dallas. And I was like, shut the fuck up. It was crazy to me. He was like, he was like proud friend moment, but what? What do you mean? And for him to even see that, like to be there at the right, like he could have looked a completely different way. He could have not even seen it. But the fact that he did see it, like at that exact moment that person was going through my profile, what? Life is not real. You live in Rock Springs? I just went through Rock Springs a couple weeks ago. My mom lives in Cheyenne, so I'm there a lot. And Laramie, because go Pokes. Go Pokes. They lost the game that I went to last year, and I was so sad. Jimmy, there's more cows than people. No, there's more antelope than people, okay? Get it right. And there's more weapons than people. And by weapons, I mean the pew-pew kind. That I can't say on this app. Now I gotta check my wingspan, so thanks for that. I will itch my brain till just go on the wall, just stand against the wall and like put your hand, obviously like where your head is, and like see where it is, and then put your hand right there, and like it should touch the floor. It should be the same height as your height. Mine's not. I got long ass legs. My legs are longer. Well, you're not alone. I'm the complete opposite. My wingspan is about, open this, what? Hype chest, what? Oh, can we do the frog? I went to frog. Okay. You'd get a conductor badge. What? Okay. Sorry about that. I got distracted. Aren't there like 2.3 cows per person? Maybe you're right, but I know there's more antelope than people, for sure. I work on an ambulance and I can't do it in front of a patient. They're gonna think I need the help, not them. Oh, you're in an ambulance right now. You're like, hold on, I gotta check how long my arms are. While you're at it, why don't you check your head size? I always dog on my friend so much because she has a really big head and I just call her big head all the time. Oh, okay. Anyway, I think that's pretty much it. Unless you guys have more questions, unless you guys want to send more gifts, unless you guys are all over here, you know, I think it's time to go. If you could take the next like 20 seconds and like the live as much as you can and actually send me as many gifts as you can, go ahead, and same for the Twitch if you guys want to just do it as fast as you can. You got 20 seconds. Anyway, I'm gonna move this over here. anyway, thanks so much for hanging out, I guess, while we did our Truth Telling Tuesday, for you guys to join in the conversation. This will be live up on my Twitch VOD for the next week, and it'll be up on YouTube here soon. I do need to upload last week's Truth Telling Tuesday. Hey, I'm just a one girl. I'm just a girl. I'm working on it. But yeah, I appreciate you being here. If you guys are wanting to do Truth Telling Tuesday next week, the Instagram story box will be on my the question box that you ask questions or pick the topic will be up on my Instagram story next Tuesday. I posted in the morning, so look out for that. Tomorrow we are diving back into solo leveling. I'm so excited. We're going into chapter 2 of volume 7. So if you guys want me to read you a bedtime story, I'll be there tomorrow reading solo leveling, and then we'll be back to playing Hogwarts Legacy on Thursday. So loving you so much. Thanks for hanging out. Oh wait, I have one more question. How long did it take to hit 100,000 followers? I think I started out last year in January. I had 10,000 and I hit 100,000 in September, October. I think it was October that I hit 100K. The advice that I have is choose what type of creator you want to be, whether an educational one or an entertainment one. And then literally just don't stop posting. Post several times a day. Once you get to 1,000, start going live, build a community, speak the things that people are too afraid to say. Be yourself. You don't have to look perfect all the time or set up the perfect shot or all this stuff. A lot of my videos that did well, I looked haggard. So just starting in January, I'm at 1.6 as of now. Yeah, go ahead. Go live. You're ready, King. You got this. I'm proud of you. Okie dokie. I'm going to get sucked into this. I already said my bye. I already said I have to go. So I have to go. Love you guys.